Start streaming. Bam. Which monitor am I on? Okay. This is a little confusing. I'm usually on the other monitor. So, I don't know what's going on. I gotta switch the monitor. Oh god, what did I... Monitor properties. Switch. There we go. Alright. Now resize this to fit that. And don't mind the inception. It's just getting a little crazy right now. Alrighty, there we go. Elapsed time 50, almost 1 minute, and counting. So let's see till we get our one very lucky watcher. Alright, we've got one watcher in here. Okay, and we've got Tech Crimson here. When is the JD/Tech Crimson? I can't even talk, man. It's been such a long day. Podcast happening. I have no idea, man. It's hard to even coordinate with my own self, so I have no idea. I have no clue. So today we are featuring a special amount of a, what is it called? Oh, don't mind the bit.ly. We are featuring some PC setups and also PCs themselves, as well as some hardware news and all that good stuff, and any sort of tech questions that happen to come up. So you guys let me know your tech questions, and I will do my best to answer all of them. So yeah. Hey buddy, what's going on, Mr. Clyburn? How you doing? Hey, do you list your build anywhere, and when you're gonna go retail? What do you mean, my current build, Onyx Inferno? I had the whole entire, for that one, I had the whole entire build list listed in the description. I should put it in a kit, though, to make it really easy. And are you going to go retail? Do you mean like selling merchandise? Is that what you mean? Mr. Clyburn, you chilling, bro? Nice, man. I hope you're having a good evening, if it's evening by you. You know, it's always good to have a little chill time. Oh, we got 9 people watching. All right, all right. So I'm going to start off with when you're going to go retail. Like PCs? Like selling PCs? Or like selling like stuff that like Gamers Nexus makes, like the mod mats and stuff, and trying to figure out like stuff to make like that? Because I have been thinking, there are a couple ideas that I have. So if you guys notice this, if you're following me on Twitter, I made a post earlier today saying post your setups and your rigs, and I'll give some feedback and possible suggestions and talk about the hardware in there and any potential questions that may come up that you guys have. I think is a pretty cool thing. I know Kyle and Paul do somewhat similar thing with the PC stuff, and so I'm not trying to steal any of their Steam or anything like that, but yeah, we can go through one of these at a time. So up first, we got Coalition Gaming here. He's got a Xenon E5 1650 V2 Ivy Bridge 6-core processor at 6.5 gigahertz, and I do not know that much about Xenons. I wonder if any of you guys are pretty familiar with Xenons. He's got a Captain 240X CPU cooler, which is actually a pretty decent CPU cooler, and he's got, I think, 32 gigs of RAM. And a 980 Ti SE, yeah, SC. So 980 Ti is still a really good GPU. I actually just bought one, the MSI Golden Edition, that I'll be doing a review of soon. So it'll be like a 2018 review, little teaser for a future video coming up in the coming weeks. So this is a pretty nice build, actually, considering that he's got a lot of horsepower in here. And, well, I don't know what just happened. I pressed the wrong button. But yeah, I really like this build. I don't know what his budget is or anything like that. So yeah. So let's move on to the next. I like the case too. And I think we're going to move on to Tech Crimson over here. If you guys don't know, check out his channel. He's got some good content. Nice stream to chill out to. Yeah, man. I try to make some pretty chill streams so that everyone can just hang back and relax, really. And, you know, just kind of chill. And here we have the Arctic cooler over here. I believe this is a 240 millimeter. We've got a, what is this, a 1060? What is this? Oh, wait, no, 980. 980 is still a good card. That's roughly equivalent to a 960. And 8 gigs of RAM times 2. So you got 16 gigs of RAM. This is a pretty good PC for what you got here. I don't know what your budget is. And you've got ketchup and mustard cables. That doesn't really bother me. I mean, to some people that would. But if you're trying to go for an aesthetic thing, of course, you can get custom cables for like 30 extra bucks. Whatever your budget is, you know, you don't have to go all out on it. But this is relatively a pretty good build. And you got a Ryzen 5 1600 in here. And the 1600 is a beautiful processor. Really good for streaming. Way better than the 8400 from Intel for streaming and gaming at the same time. So, yeah. Thanks for the heart. Anytimes, man. I like to hand out a lot of hearts. You know what I mean? I like to hand out a lot of love on the channel. Thanks. Still need to get myself a Mustang. I actually have a 2010 WRX STI in real life. Oh, that's nice. I watched the Senor video like 5 times. Mr. Clyburn, dude, you're like one of my top supporters. Like, dude, you are always there. I always appreciate the love and support. It's great. Gregor Miller, you donated $10. You didn't have to do that. Thanks, man. For an adult beverage of your choice, all I've got here is water, because the more I talk, the thirstier I get. And if I don't keep drinking water, I'm going to start talking and rambling on. It keeps me like concise. What are you guys sipping on? All right, so let's move down here. We have Mark Golden Eagle. Now this PC is pretty dope, I'm not gonna lie. So he's got a Z370 board paired with an 8700K. I hope he's overclocking it, because that chip is meant to be overclocked. But if he's not, it's cool. 16 gigs of DDR4. That is all you really need if you're trying to get the most out of, you know, programs and applications. That is plenty fine. NZXT Kraken X72. In a push-pull config. That is a fantastic cooler. I don't recommend it for Threadripper, but it's a pretty good cooler for those, I don't know what to call it, for those smaller dies. And then he's got the Corsair ML120 Pro premium fans. I can't even talk. As a Hurricane fans. Oh, he's got the Hazard Hurricane fans. I like those. Seasonic 850X Platinum PSU. Wow, that is a beast of a PSU, guys. That is a really good one. 500 gigabyte SSD, 2 terabyte Western Digital hard drive, and a Strix 1080 Ti. Oh my gosh, this is like the ideal build for a lot of people. I don't think you can really juice anything else out of this thing. Okay, so I guess I got to give some sort of feedback on it. So overall, it looks really good. The SanDisk thing is upside down. I understand that's just the nature of having what is it, the mounting of the SSD. So what you can do is you can actually buy like RGB acrylic covers for your SSDs if you plan on putting them out on display like this, and you can get rid of the sticker. So if you go on like Etsy or something like that and look it up, you can actually find acrylic covers and put it over and just boost up the aesthetic a little bit if you're caring about that. In this case, I would assume that you would be, because this is a really good looking PC. Of course, we also have ribbon cables over here. I think this would benefit from some custom cables. You don't have to go crazy and spend $400, but you can just spend like 30 bucks on an extension kit and you would be solid. Another thing is those RAM sticks, those RGB RAM sticks from Corsair. Okay, you guys want to know something? Look at this. Let's go on my YouTube channel really quick. So those RAM sticks are the same, almost look exactly the same as the Corsair Vengeance Pro, which are better looking in my opinion. But if you just take those little heat spreaders off, hold on, you'll see it. Where is it? Gotta get it. That's what they look like. Those are Corsair Vengeance RGB RAM sticks right there. So those are the real deal. And you just take off those little covers and you have much better looking RGB RAM sticks than these. You just take off those covers, you're set and ready to go. All right, I got to look at stream. All right, Shout out to Gregor Miller. For real. I always appreciate the donation. That helps. It goes a long way every single time, guys. No homo. I thought my voice was deep, but like your voice, dude, I had a guy comment on me the other day. He was like, your voice is too deep. You're using like way too much editing in your audio. I'm like, dude, that's just my voice, and that's how the microphone picks it up. And they're like, no, edit your audio, make it better. I was like, dude, it's just my voice. I don't know what to tell you. They didn't like how deep my voice was, so I mean, I don't know what to tell them. Night Circus, hey there. I've only started looking at upgrading my PC. It's very old. Ashamed, I know. Don't be ashamed, man. You know, whatever interest you got in a PC, you got in a PC. You know, so don't worry about that. But I still managed to play really nice stuff. I don't know much about building PCs as my ex built this, but oh wait. I'm wanting to learn more. I have a GTX 260 card. All right, so let me know what the other parts in your PC are, and I could hopefully suggest. It will load, I will jump, it will crash while jumping. I'll reload on the ground and be fine the rest of the game. It's weird. That is weird. What are your settings at? You might have to crank down some of those settings. There might be a spike in performance that PUBG hasn't really optimized yet. That could be crashing your system potentially. And I know PUBG is a hard game to run, especially on the CPU, and you only have a 1300X, so that spike in performance can be crashing the game. This is a great idea of a stream from time to time. Yeah, man, I try to make the streams as interactive as possible with everyone so that I don't want anyone to feel like they're missing out or they're just watching me talk or play games. I mean, that's perfectly fine. People can do that, but I like to be like pretty real with everyone, so... yeah. Hello, JD. What is going on, Geo, man? It's been a minute since we've talked. I know I used to be streaming on Twitch every single night, but it got really busy because I got like a lot of products stacked up on me and I wasn't able to dedicate every night. But I should soon start streaming back to Twitch for gaming, and I'll keep the stream on YouTube every now and then. His videos are always informative. Well, thank you, Michael. I always appreciate that. I try to make my videos as informative and concise as possible so that there's like no nonsense, that people just get what they need to know and they get it, and that's it. Hey, I was on your stream for the RTX launch and I asked you about an upgrade for my 1063 gigabyte. I ended up going up with your idea of a triple fan 1070 and I love it. Thanks for the suggestion. Hey, man, I'm glad you, that was the gigabyte card you're looking at, right? I think you were looking at the gigabyte card that I sent over to you, so I think I remember that instance. I hope you really like it. That's a good card. I started following Tom's Hardware about 10 years ago, Night Circus. They have builds from $500 to $2,000. Give you an idea. Now I listen to JDTechGear. Well, I'm glad you find some validity in what I talk about, because I try to make my points as valid as possible. And... yeah, Tom's Hardware, that article with the RTX thing was just really bad. A lot of bad publicity. I just watched your new video, bro. Really good, man. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I put like 100% into every single video. So like I would love to push out more videos, but it gets really difficult when you're trying to do like a lot of different videos all by yourself, and then you work and, you know, trying to sustain yourself on the side. So it gets a little tough, but I try to put as much as I can into as fast as possible. It's been a while since I've watched his videos. Glad I got the notification tape. Well, I'm glad you're back here, Michael. I got some cool videos coming up. I got one reviewing a motherboard. I don't know if that's going to really interest you, but I also have a pretty cool mini ITX build that I have coming up as well, which is going to be pretty cool. I think my CPU is an i7-860 at 2.8 gigahertz, but today I looked at YouTube vids and overclocked it to 3.6. Nice. I'm glad you got that little boost in performance there. An i7-860 is an old CPU, but you know, at the upper end, I would maybe try getting a GTX 770. You can probably pick one up for about under $100, and that could be a pretty good pair with your i7-860. You might get a little bottleneck there because the 770 is still a good performer, but that's always a good suggestion if you're not trying to spend too much and have a decent upgrade. PUBG better than Fortnite. Say it for PUBG or A for Pub Night. Yeah, or A for Pub. Neither, man. I'm so bad at those games. At least you have a PC. Don't be ashamed. Exactly. All very low. 720p. Interesting. I don't know, man. That's interesting. Had many opportunities, don't have one. JD, when did you start streaming on YouTube? What is going on, Leia? Man, I just started streaming on YouTube. I was only one other occasion that I started streaming on YouTube, and that was a couple weeks ago during the RTX launch. But a lot of people turned up for that, so I was like, you know what, maybe I should do this on the occasion. So I'm gonna try to have everyone come here at least once per week, so that we can all have, you know, a good hangout and talk with my subscribers. You know, try to be within the community as much as possible. And if you guys are interested, there is a Discord link in the description below if you guys want to be part of the Discord. So that is always an option if you guys are interested. I play at 720p with all very low settings. I'm really mad. It is super fun to play, but when I can't choose where I drop, that is really annoying. I honestly don't have a solution for you. It could be possible incompatibility with optimization with PUBG, because it's still poorly optimized in my opinion. Still better than when it first or initially released, but over time still hasn't really gotten much better even at 720p. I really honestly couldn't tell you why it would crash every single time. I wish I could, but I would probably have to really look into that. But it might be a specific use case scenario. You might have to try a fresh reinstall the game, but I wouldn't guarantee that's going to be fixed. How long are you going to stream? I know you just got on, just asking. Well, I might stream for like an hour or two, maybe till like 12 a.m. for me. So right now it's 10:15. Well, maybe 12:30, because I want to be on for at least 2 hours for you guys. Disappeared. It will interest me. Oh, cool. All right. I need all the information I can get. Cool. Are you new to the PC community? Just wondering. GTX 770, perfect. This is pretty much what I'm looking at buying. Thank you very much. Hey man, no problem. I hope it helps you out, because you can find one on eBay for a relatively good price. I wish mine was still working, because you can make so many good budget builds out of the 770. I absolutely love it. Also, the 750 Ti is also a pretty good card if you can find it for around 50 bucks. I want to build one eventually, or maybe I'll just do the pre-built thing online. Well, you could go pre-built, or you could try building it yourself. It's a lot of fun once you start learning it, and you just become so involved in hardware, and then you just want every new shiny thing that comes out for PC hardware. So it might be better going pre-built, maybe. Coalition Game, what is going on, Chris? If you guys don't know, Coalition Game has an awesome channel. You guys should go check him out. And I just watched his video today comparing a Xenon processor along with some Surface Book laptop with Adobe Premiere render times. It was very interesting seeing that the optimization for integrated graphics on Intel chips is almost very close to what a Xenon processor can do in terms of render times to the Adobe Premiere. What is a good PC case with good airflow under $100? I would say the Raid Max Sigma, still one of my favorite cases. You guys, if you're interested, I do have a review on that on my channel. I'll show you guys the Raid Max Sigma. Well, let's just go here, and we'll go to Raid Max Sigma. It's down a little bit ways because it's been a while, but I still really love this case, and I think it's 80 bucks for this case. But it's one of my favorites, and it has really good airflow. Oh, geez, that's way too close. Where's a good picture of the front? All right, so this is all mesh. They got a cool mesh design with it. Cool mesh and aluminum design, so it's like still really decent airflow. And there's airflow coming up from the top too. They got the mesh design up on top. So pretty good case overall with good airflow and under $100. Dang, you going live right around where I am. Dude, I thought you were going live at 8 o'clock. I'm sorry, man. I thought you were going live at 8 or something like that. I had no idea. I was trying to dodge around yours so that I wouldn't like interfere. I got the Gigabyte GeForce GTX 1070 G1 graphics card. Yeah, that's a good card. I hope you enjoy it. Try to get some good overclocking out of it, although NVIDIA doesn't really boost too much performance with the 10 series cards in terms of overclocking for some reason. I'm looking to get a Fractal Design Mesh 5C white. How good is it? The Mesh 5C is a really good case. I especially like the front panel design a lot. Really good stuff. By the way, your oh crap. I'm like trying to keep up with chat. This is hard, guys. Okay. By the way, your videos are good. That my eyes tricked me. I thought you had 340,000 subs like you deserve. Well, thanks, man. A lot of people say they stumble on my channel. They're like, whoa, I thought you had more subscribers. And I'm like, nope. It's just, you know, I'm just growing here. Just, you know, smallish YouTube channel here. Just growing along, you know. JD, I saw your M111 review, and I bought the case so far. I'm loving it. Right now, I have a 1060, and I'm planning on getting a GTX 1080. What kind should I buy? Don't buy a blower style card. The M1101 is a fantastic case. Absolutely love working in that case. GTX 1080, if we go on eBay here, and we can look at some GTX 1080s, you might still want to wait till the 20 series cards come out, although, you know, I could be wrong, and they might go back up in price after they release. But if we look at some of the ones that are buy it now and just used, you can get a pretty good deal on them for underneath $400. Yeah, so here's one, the 1080, you know, for the win card from EVGA. I believe this has the ICX cooler. I'm not sure. Like $350. Like the EVGA for the win cooler and the SC cooler are both really good. The for the win cooler is a little bit larger, or a little bit beefier, I should say. And then you have the MSI armor cards. Those are pretty good. Don't recommend this shroud on a 1080 Ti. And then the MSI Gaming X is really good as well. And this is another. Oh, this is the ICX card, I believe, for the win. Oh wait, no, ACX. This is ACX. So the ACX design had a little bit of a controversy as far as like thermal warnings and stuff like that. So maybe go with the ICX, and here's a Gigabyte G1. All these are really good. Good luck trying to get a Strix card. Like, what is this? Oh my god. Good luck trying to get a Strix card under $450 because they do sell for a lot. I had a friend ask me this question. What do you think of pairing an i5 6500 with the GTX 1050 Ti? Well, the 6500 is definitely capable of going well past the 1050 Ti. I mean, if they're trying to use the 1050 Ti for a stepping stone, I can understand that. But with the 6500, you can honestly pair it with a GTX 1080, and you probably will have almost no bottleneck with it. The new High is awesome for air cooling. The new High? What is that? And Rodimus, what's up, man? Well, as far as your information on PCs, no, but having one, yes. Oh, okay. Last question. Are you making this a video on YouTube after the stream? Yeah, so this will be available as an upload on the channel afterwards. It should be, at least. And let's see. Hey, man, thanks for the plug. Much appreciated. Hey, no problem, Chris. Meshify. Oh, gotcha. So you said the new Meshify is awesome for air cooling. It really is. Have you had a chance to review the 2080? Me? No, I haven't. I would love to review one, but I need $700. You know, I actually just spent $700. I had to buy some studio equipment, a mini ITX board, and a mini ITX case that I have a build coming to the channel, and also a 980 Ti Golden Edition, which I could have saved for the 2080, but I was like, man, I just don't feel like dropping 800 unless I claimed myself as an LLC and wrote it off as a business write-off, so that would be really nice, because I don't think a company's going to be sending me a 2080 in the slightest. Sigma is my case. Woo! Yeah, man. I love myself a Sigma. Looks good. Absolutely. Yeah, this case does look good, Melissa. I asked my friends to watch. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Nice thumbnails. Oh, man, I try so hard on the thumbnails. I'm like, I don't want things to look like clickbait, but I don't want them to look uninteresting either, so I try to blend both. Can I actually get away with a 1050 Ti card with my old CPU? I have a 750 watt Corsair power supply. I don't know what kind of motherboard it is. Can't read, and I can't take the case thing out. Oh yeah, 1050 Ti will be fine. That's pretty much the equivalent performance of a 770, but you would be paying more for the 1050 Ti, but you would have a lower power consumption, which is really not a concern for you since you have 750 watts out of your power supply. Please like the video for Batman. Yeah, guys, like for Batman. Uh, it's pronounced as Lee. Oh, sorry, man. We spoke a little bit about music production, if you remember. Of course I do. Great. Looking forward to more live streams. Absolutely, man. I actually did have a stream uh like a month ago where I was on Twitch and we were showing everyone our music, and I was going through like all my different projects on FL Studio. It was a lot of fun. But when is the Crimson podcast happening? I don't know, man. It's really hard because I can't even coordinate myself to get a daily or a weekly live stream up. Say if JDTechGear is the best channel for tech videos. I hope, man. I don't try to compare myself with everyone because everyone has different perspectives and ideologies and things that they approach differently. That's why I can watch, like, whenever, like, say the Threadripper video goes up, I watch at least 10 different channels, reviewing the 2950X or something like that. You should have more. I will try to have more, Mr. Clyburn. I will try. Voice is still as crispy as ever. Man, I try to have my voice crispy. This microphone is like the best microphone for $100. Making gorgeous vids and you'll get more subscribers. I try my best to make them as crispy as possible, to be good looking in the past. So if people come by later on and be like, oh, hey, this guy has good quality, hopefully that quality is improved upon by now. There are some 1080s going sub 400. Toasty Bros, what is going on, man? I'm glad to see you here, and you're absolutely right. Let me change this. I'm making you moderator. Yeah, so 1080s for under 400 is always a sweet deal. Night Circuits, get the MSI 1050 Ti. What is a good $500 build? I might be actually having a $500 build coming to the channel pretty soon, or maybe $500 to $600 actually. You got a great deal on your 1080 Ti, $500. Yes, the 1080 Ti for $500. Even though there are some people buying them for like $480 to $450, I still feel like, $500 is really good for the EVGA SC2. And it was also mined on, but it actually works out really nicely. Dang, I got to go love your content. Keep up the good work. Thanks, man. Almost to 35,000 subscribers. Yeah, man. 35,000 and counting. Hopefully, I can start making this channel a full-time thing. That would be ideal right now. By the way, Discord link doesn't work for me. Ah, man. I knew it wouldn't work. JDTechGear, what's going on, man? If you guys don't know, JDTechGear makes a lot of Fortnite live streams. He's getting pretty good at the game, actually. So you guys should check out his live streams when he's chilling and hanging out with everyone. So go check him out as well. What's going on, man? Don't talk about the catch-up cables. I already did. I'm from JDTechGear. Well, thanks for stopping by, man. I appreciate Josh brought you over here. Hello, good sir. Love the look on Senor's face in that video. Man, I know. Wasn't it great? Oh, man. I've been waiting to do that for 4 years, and I can actually go into a little bit of history with that if you guys want. Does an 8100 and a 1060 gigabyte do bottleneck? I'm actually trying to research that myself because I'm going to be pairing a 8100 with the 980 Ti pretty soon. So we're going to see if there's a bottleneck there. And actually, I think the 8100 is a relatively good processor because it's highly optimized in games since it's only 4 cores and also has pretty decent clock speeds that can go around 3.6 gigahertz and a little bit above depending on the application. Mark, what is going on, man? I'm actually we were looking at your PC here. Where is it? I think this is it, right? I think this is you, right? Yeah, this is you. Yeah, we were looking at your PC. JD, you're a great YouTuber. No one compares to you. Maybe Tech Crimson, but even that, you're still sexier. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. You guys should check out Tech Crimson. He is highly inspired from a lot of different tech YouTubers, and he is pushing his content to the next level every single time. So he is making progress. So I suggest you guys go check him out as well. Chat needs to slow down for a bit so he can catch up. I'm trying. Kevin, hey man, what's going on? How much do you think I could sell a Reference 970 for? You can probably sell it for around, Reference. I'm trying to remember if Reference is the, what is it, the Founders Edition? No, it's not. Which reference card are you selling? You can usually sell them for around 130 to 150 pretty easily. That's what I would pay for it. What microphone is that? It's the Audio Technica AT2020. I actually have it in the chat. I mean, not in the chat. Ugh. I have it in the description below. Oh my gosh. All right. To build a Xenon build just because it's so cheap. Xenon builds are really cool. Nice build. Greetings from Argentina. What is going on, Jorge? I appreciate you're here, man. You're my favorite tech tuber, and I don't know why. Thanks, Ben. I appreciate that. Hello, everyone. What's going on, Ben? I got 2 Bens in here. He's awesome. That's why. It's probably that ASMR that comes with that voice. I don't think I'm that ASMR, am I? What time zone are you in? I'm actually in the Eastern time zone, so I'm on the East Coast of the U.S. and I'm in South Carolina, so there's no tech around here whatsoever. My Best Buy maybe has a Wi-Fi adapter, and that's the closest I'll get to any sort of PC hardware around me. I work nights, so luckily I can catch these live streams from the UK. It's 4 a.m. here. Oh man, it's 4 a.m. But are you working right now? You are a great tech tuber. Thank you, Mr. Clyburn. I try to do as best as I can. It's hard to keep up because a lot of channels are pushing out a lot of good content. All right, so we looked at Mark's build over here. Mark just joined the chat. All I said pretty much was that you might want to get an acrylic SSD cover for your SSD over here, if that matters to you. If it doesn't, then no worries. But I noticed it was upside down, and that's a easy fix. You can get like an RGB one for like $30, and then you just sneak the cable around here with the SATA connector. And you can also get cable extensions for like an extra $30 here. That will look really sweet in this build versus the ribbon cables. Otherwise, this is looking really sweet. And also the ideal build. I mean, you got an 8700K and a 1080 Ti. So, and also take the little covers off of these RGB sticks, and you got yourself a really good looking set of RGB sticks. Because like I was showing everyone earlier, my Onyx Inferno build actually has the RGB sticks that you have, the Vengeance Pro ones, not the Pro, the regular Corsair Vengeance, and they look like that. They don't have the covers on them. So if you take those off, it'll look really good. All right, now we're going to look at Ben's build. He's got a 7600K and a GTX 1080, 8 gigs of RAM, and a 960 EVO SSD. This is a pretty decent build right here. The 7600K is really not going to get bottlenecked by the 1080 at all. I mean, you've got 4 cores, 4 threads, and you've got really high clock speeds with the 7600K. 1080 is a perfect card with that, honestly. 8 gigs of RAM. If you're just gaming, you really don't need anything more than that. The Samsung 960 EVO is a good SSD. And there's the full setup. That's a clean looking setup, I'm not gonna lie. I like the black and the black and gray color scheme you got going on over here. Blue Yeti microphone. This is a nice little budget microphone for $50. And I can't tell what keyboard that is. Oh wait, you told me where it was. Oh yeah, right here, the G502 mouse. That's a great mouse. I used it for a really long time. The only thing I didn't like about it was that it was getting a little too heavy, and the buttons are really easy to click on that. So that's a preferential thing. And a better shot of the internals. Yeah, this looks good, man. I know I hate this cable. I always hate this cable, and sometimes it depends on the motherboard where you can actually put this cable. But otherwise, this is looking sweet. I see a little network card down here. Nice. Nice, dude. All right. And Austin over here, he has got an 8600K, which is actually right up there with the 8700K in terms of gaming. If you guys didn't know, the 8700K and the 8600K trade blows when it goes to gaming. So whoever says like the 8700K is like the king of gaming, without a doubt, the 8600K is actually like right there with it, because some games optimize more for just cores rather than having the threads, and they both have insane clock speeds, well above 5 gigahertz. So they trade blows pretty much equivalently in terms of gaming performance. Depending on the game, of course, some will optimize for those extra threads that the 8700K does have. But I'm just saying, 8600K is one of my favorite processors, along with the Ryzen 1600 or 2600. 32 gigs of RAM. I see over here the Trident C RAM. That is expensive RAM. That's using that Samsung B die on there, which is highly overclockable, and a Strix 1080 Ti, which is another beautiful card, and an Asus Z370E motherboard. That's a pretty good motherboard if I remember. That's a Strix motherboard, I think. And the case is the FSP CMT 520. Yeah, nice, man. And amazing case, very in-depth review. It convinced me to buy it. I'm glad you really liked it. I really liked the case. I actually gave it to one of my friends because he was building a new PC case, and it was a little hard for me to let go because I'm like, man, this is a good case. I just wish I had rubber grommets, but honestly, this looks really good. I see you put those Corsair LL fans in there. Absolutely beautiful fans, and I love them. And oh, Mark, here's another one. This is another build of yours? This is beautiful. Look at those cables. Wow. That is really good cable management there. And this is really well coordinated. I don't know what's in here, but it looks really good. And then we got Daniel over here. This is my budget setup. The PC has a 1060, 8 gigs of RAM, and a Ryzen 3 1200. Slight bottleneck, but I plan on upgrading for sure, man. You can definitely get like a 1600 in there. The 1600 is actually on sale for like 160 bucks or 150 or whatever. So that would be a really decent upgrade. I love the Ryzen upgrade path that is available to a lot of people. So this is a pretty clean setup too. There's some wires over here, but it's really hard to manage wires when you only have this little frame to be working around. Overall, really nice, clean looking. I'm liking it a lot. Now I got to catch up to the chat. Okay. Josh would talk, but he's streaming. Keep up the good work, my dude. Thanks, man. I'm trying. From SC as well. JJ Ray, what is going on? JJ Ray, where you're from SC? What part of SC are you from? You don't have to share that. Because you know you're on the web, but if you feel like sharing it, you can. 3:37 a.m. UK, actually. Night Circus. Man, you are dedicated. Thanks for being here. Switching between this and Netflix Ozark new season. I know, I got to catch up on that Ozark season too. I saw that yesterday. I was like, man, if I start watching this at like 5 a.m., I'm just gonna be here all day long. 8:37 a.m. India. What is going on, man? I'm at work right now, but this live stream is much more interesting. Nice. I'm glad I could interest you in at work. But I needed advice on my ancient PC and how to upgrade it in any way possible. Well, just list down the specs and I can give you some advice and what kind of budget you're working with. Season 2 has been around for a year, Night Circus. Not sure why they added that unless Season 3 is about to release. They just released it for me, at least for Ozark, if that's what we're talking about. I heart JD Tech. Is that for me? I have a new name. Oh my gosh. You are dedicated, man. I am loving and appreciate it. Oh, I gotta ask, did you go to a university to learn all this, or did you learn it yourself independently? Okay. So if you guys are interested in hearing about a little bit of my startup story here with the channel, let me know and I will answer that, Night Circus. Just tweeted my pics, Rodimus. All right, I'll go check that out. Oskesis or Oskesis, I don't know how to pronounce that. Hey JD, what's going on, man? Love from India. Thank you, man. I appreciate the love. In a way, my PC is a sleeper. It's an old office computer with a 1070 i5 7400, 16 gigs of RAM, which you can't see, and a 2 terabyte hard drive with a 500 gigabyte SSD. Oh, that's awesome. I love those sleeper PCs. They're like, oh, what is this? And then you just, boom, unleash the power. And you're just like, oh my God, look at this. Hardware hottie, not gay, girl here. Oh, really? I had no idea. I can't tell when people are like I can't tell people's genders from like the little tiny circle that I have here on the stream. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Looking at all these setups makes me want a PC more. Cohen, what kind of PC are you looking at? Hey, thanks for showing my rig. Much love to your channel. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate you sharing your PC here. And if you're interested in any of those suggestions that I put in for you, Rodimus just tweeted at me. If you guys want to tweet your setup, you can. All right, we got a couple new ones here. All right. Okay, so right here we have Austin, I'm sorry. Oh man, that is clean. That is super clean. If you guys are looking at this, wow, that is a good looking setup right there. Good looking PC, RGB mouse pad, super minimal, really clean. I really like it a lot. Rodimus, here is my first build, second pick. I first added 3 cheapo iGo fans. Those iGo fans are so good. I don't know why. I just love them. Ryzen 1400, absolutely love the 1400. 16 gigs of Trident Z RAM. Wow, that's awesome. And a 1050 Ti, 250 gig SSD, and 2 terabyte HDD, and 600 watt EVGA PSU, and a Mesh 5C. A Mesh 5C is a great case. Absolutely love it. I haven't worked with it personally. I think this is a Tomahawk board. Is this the MSI Tomahawk board? And this is really clean. This is a really good looking clean PC. I am digging it. Love the Mesh 5C. Ryzen 1400 is awesome. If you can get a good overclock on there, you've got a really well performing little processor there. And Luis, this is good looking too. Look at this. Oh, you got that Raid Max case. I know which. That's the. I know that case. Excuse me. Wow, look at this. This is great, man. That's the L disc I think you reviewed as well. Making most of what you got. Hey, man, you got to make it what you have. And you got the Pringles up there. And you got the stream up here. Oh, yeah. I got to like that. And I got to like Rodimus. And I got to like Austin as well. Thanks for showing mine as well. Of course, Ben. Yours is really clean as well. Really digging the entire color scheme that you're going on here with all the green. Getting that Hulk vibe in there. Bro, I'm driving, listening to you, and watching at lights. Really? Oh, that's awesome. Just gotta stream while watching and driving. It makes driving a little bit easier. And yes, Tomahawk, nice. The Tomahawk, God, the MSI boards can be a little, little sketchy at the higher end, but I feel like their low end or the mid tier boards, the B350 boards, are really good. And the Tomahawk one is a perfect example of that. I had no issues with that whatsoever. And 3.8 gigahertz is really good for the Ryzen 1400. In school, we got cheap laptops with like 512 megabytes with graphics card. We downloaded MSI Afterburner and messed with the teachers. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Ben, are you working? I am. I do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So right now I'm like, I work at a restaurant, right? So that's only like one night out of the week. That's just whatever, really. It's just like some sort of income that I have coming in every week, because what I make off of YouTube is just not enough to be fully quitting that job. And yeah, so that was that's what I'm doing right now. I also work with clients. I make websites for people and stuff like that. Trying to find more items to be able to sell. Like I know like Gamers Nexus has like their mod mat and stuff like that. I was thinking of making like a beginner's PC assembly kit and stuff like that. That would make it really easy for people to build their PCs or something like that. So that would be something I was looking into. But yes, I do have some other jobs besides just YouTube. I would like to make YouTube full time though. That Mesh 5C is my favorite case too. I plan to buy it for my future build. Yeah, great case to buy. Also, the white version is really nice too. Okisis, you didn't read my post. Where did you post? I didn't have it up here. Let's see. I don't even have it on my notifications either. See, I don't have one here from you. I would cry if JD Tech was my waiter. Biggest tip I would give my life. Well, thanks, man. I'm getting pretty tired of the serving job. You know, it's kind of hard. Um, you know, it's just like, you know, people treat you like dirt all the time. So it's like, oh man, I have extensions. The SSD sticker might come over with the heat gun. Yeah, yeah, that'd be ideal, I guess. You know, just you can have the plain black SSD and that'll look really clean as well. Sorry for my English. No worries, man. English is not an easy language. In chat, I did read your post in chat, unless you posted something else. Love from India. I got that one, and I responded to that one. And that's the only one I see here. Yeah. That's the only one I see. I'll take them off and try it out. Thanks. No worries, man. Hope it works out for you. Just started building PCs and selling kits online. Yeah, right. I do build a lot of PCs, but I can't sell them in my area because my area is mostly retired people. So, yeah, that's it's tough to try and build PCs and sell them around here because no one's really buying it unless you're selling it at a deep discount, and I would not be making any sort of margin there. And it would just get really tough to be trying to make money on the side like that. Otherwise, I would just be hustling all the time, just finding deals like Brian from Tech Yes City is doing. How many pieces of flair do you have to wear? What do you mean? Old people game too. Yes, they do, Felipe. Yes, they do. The people around here don't. They're like 80 years old, most of them. Like we're talking like really retired. I'm not talking like 40 or 50-year-olds. I'm talking like 80-year-olds, 70-year-olds, 90-year-olds. What, the nursing homes near you don't have grandmas that went hardcore gaming PCs? Yeah, you know, I don't think it's up their alley. You know, it's just not what they really are looking for. You know, so it's kind of hard to be doing that around here. Oh man, I need a drink of water. Gregor, hey, I'm 63. Go door to door and see if they want upgrades or learn. You'll be starting a night class. Actually, I have thought about doing selling classes for like older people to understand like file exploration and all sorts of things, and you know, just navigating through the Windows operating system and getting familiar, because a lot of people look at a PC and they just get really overwhelmed with it, really, man. But 63 and still tech savvy, that is awesome. That is really awesome. A lot of the people around here are really not into computers because the community around here is a lot of retired business people and they didn't really deal with computers. There's not a big tech industry around here. So unfortunately, it's hard to find people that are actually interested in any of this. Please tell me I'm not that old that Office Space's joke is lost. I'm sorry, I don't know the reference. I am so sorry. I keep pressing this stupid button. I need to go back. Dang it, guys, I lost the chat. Hold on. We're going mission critical over here. Got to go back to the stream. Live streaming. Here we go. Sorry about that. I accidentally clicked some of the buttons here on the mouse, so it kind of gets lost. Okay, where do you live, JD? I live in the U.S. Yeah, it'll be hard to try and sell your PC builds in your locality, but why not try online? Well, it's just because, you know, shipping and all that, it's really difficult to try and sell an entire PC online, at least in my experience of what my friends have went through. What would make you go full-time on YouTube? All right, so to be able to go full-time on YouTube, I need to be making a certain amount per month. I know what my monthly spending is, and I also have to spend a lot on hardware, like doing the PC builds and stuff like that costs a lot of money. So like any bit that I don't have to get sent to me is really awesome, and that really helps out. And I could write off some of these things as a business write-off or something like that, but I haven't yet to claim myself as an LLC. So I know what I have to be making per month in order to do that. And I would say safely, if I was making maybe $2,500 to $3,000 a month, I would be able to go full time with YouTube and be completely independent from everything else. So that would be really nice. My grandma bought a gaming PC to read emails and use Facebook and Skype. Hey, that if your grandma really did that, that's, you know, more power to her. Let's see. Forgot to post info on second mail. Sorry. No worries, man. I kind of tried figuring out what it was. Please watch Office Space. You will love it. All right, man. I'm gonna try it. You are a model. Well, thank you. I sometimes get those compliments. It's so funny. It's just like I get those compliments every here and there, and it cracks me up all the time. I'm like, you're wearing lipstick. Oh, you're too pretty to be a tech YouTuber. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm just a guy. Okay, so I got two options: a GeForce GTX 1050 Gaming X, or a GTX 1050 Ti, and for the upgrade for my GTX 2060. And all right, so what's your budget? Let me ask you that first, and then I can give you a good recommendation. PS4 or Xbox? Depends which PS4 or Xbox. If we're just comparing regular old Xbox One, PS4, go PS4. I can get this card by Saturday if I do next day delivery. How exciting. Plus I got 4 gigabytes memory and can get an extra 4 gigs to get that cool 8 gigabyte memory. My new PC in 2010 can get an upgrade. You could go that route, or you could just save and try to save for a bigger PC, but you know, time constraints and stuff like that, I totally understand. PC Master Race. You are next. Linus Tech Tips. That would be awesome. I would love to get the kind of viewership that Linus gets. He has an entire community built around him. He has a fantastic business built around him. He's very inspirational, just looking up to him, just seeing what he has made for himself. And you know, I doubt in the slightest he knows who I am, what I am, and whatever he thinks of me is not going to really change of what I think of him in the slightest, because he has such a good foundation in the PC community. It's really something that everyone benefits off of, because he's just so dominant in this market. And to be up at that level is crazy, because you wouldn't think that many people would be interested in PC gaming and stuff like that. So who knows? I mean, he has had to like broaden his audience a little bit more to start bringing more views and stuff like that, which I understand from a business standpoint. But for me personally, I would like to keep my work selective, just strictly towards computer hardware. Maybe some tech here and there, but mostly computer hardware. Cyber Shark, what is going on, man? No more than $200, which is about 160 or so, but not that much of a worry. 160 euros. My biggest concern is what's compatible with what, because the whole bottlenecking thing. All right, let me look at your. Okay, so you've got an i7 in there that's overclockable. Sure, it's an older i7, but I think the 1050 Ti will be fine for you, honestly. 1050 Ti will be able to not be bottlenecked that bad by your i7. Just if you can overclock it. If you can't, no worries. I think you'll be fine, and then you can save the 1050 Ti if you want to upgrade your whole entire PC later on. Remember us first 30K subs when you're at 5 million. Yeah, right, 5 million. You're funny, Ben. 5 million. I can't even fathom that. If I got 5 million subscribers, I'd probably have only like 3,000 people like watching each video. But you know what? That's perfectly fine with me. Both cards I typed up there are within budget range, but like I said, it feels so dubious because the GTX 260 is far away from the 1050 Ti. Yes, it is very old and much better than a 260. Just installed Forknut. Good old Forknut. Don't you love that game? You don't play PUBG or live stream. Well, I do live stream on the occasion with video games on Twitch. I haven't been able to lately because the whole entire, just life has me busy right now, I guess. And, trying to make this thing a full-time job is hard. But yes, I don't play PUBG. I used to, but I don't anymore. It's just I'm a lot more competitive in other games like World of Tanks and stuff like that. So that's brilliant. Just needed that confirmation to go through with it. Purchase it and go for it. Guess I'll have my stuff by Saturday. Again, thank you for this. Hey, no problem, Night Circus. I hope you enjoy it. Let me know if there is much of a bottleneck. If you're able to tell, you should be able to get good performance out of it, honestly. So yeah, you should be fine with that. You might get a little bit of a bottleneck, but not really anything too much. I mean, I haven't personally worked with that processor, but honestly, that I think you'll be fine. So in other news, guys, AMD released a very interesting piece of news. So you guys are all aware, or at least most of you are aware, that the RTX cards are coming out from NVIDIA. Now it's a push towards ray tracing, all that, but the thing is, it's still based on a 12 nanometer or 14 nanometer architecture. And AMD is going to be releasing cards that are based on a 7 nanometer architecture. That's literally half the distance in architecture, and will be able to fit a larger die on their cards and fit more transistors within that die and more cores essentially, and will be a lot more powerful than what RTX will be able to offer if all goes well with the AMD card. So it's a massive gain up on what NVIDIA is offering right now. That's another reason why I didn't want to really purchase an RTX 2080 Ti or anything like that, because the 7 nanometer cards from AMD are going to be coming out soon, and we know NVIDIA is not going to be far behind them. They really aren't. There's only so much performance they can squeeze out of a 14 nanometer architecture. So them pushing that with the ray tracing thing is great, and you know, I'm all for it that they're trying to change the direction, but 7 nanometer is coming, and it's going to come fast. AMD is going to bring it to the table, and I know NVIDIA is going to be right behind them with new cards, because 7 nanometers is a massive leap in performance. So do I go for the 1050 normal or 1050 Ti? Honestly, I'd go for the 1050 Ti, depending on the games that you play. Just having 4 gigs of VRAM is a good buffer to have versus just 2, which can get pretty limited with some games, despite how good the card can be. So, my dude, I'm here now. What's going on, Rufus Dog? What's going on? Rufus Dog is one of my top supporters here. He's a great guy. And, you know, just, you guys should know that. Not too sure what TI means much, but I guess a better version. The TI pretty much means the Pro version, right? So you have like, think of it as like a model of a car. So you have like the standard edition of the car, and then you have like the sport model of the car, right? And then you have like the limited version of the car. But pretty much just picture like the 1050 is the base model, and then you have the 1050 Ti, which has some added horsepower and whatnot to it, and the sport version is that Ti version, so just a little bit beefier. Ben F, correction, like 500 million subs. He will be like the PewDiePie of tech. If that many people are actually interested in what I have to say and computer hardware, I will be insanely surprised, honestly. RIP G5400. Is that what you have, Cybershark? What do you do for a living? Are you rich or what? No, I am not rich, unfortunately. What do I do for a living? I do YouTube. I serve I wait tables. I build people websites, and I work with some media solution things, and just doing a bunch of odd jobs all the time, because I don't want to do one solid job every single day, because it drives me crazy. And yeah, so I do that, and I wish I was rich. It would make this job a lot easier on YouTube, because computer hardware is really expensive, and I got to spend a lot of money on this stuff. He said he has a full-time job. I don't have like a full-time job per se. I do a bunch of like different jobs that just make it as like one full-time job. You mean the T-series of tech, LOL. Have you tried any ARM-based or ARM-based PC hardware? I haven't. I've been interested to try some of their stuff. They're really based in like the micro devices, like phones and, well, not phones, but tablets and some stuff like that. But they are, I heard they're actually going to be working on a desktop processor. I can't remember if we look at it from here. New $5 Patreon from Rufus Dog. Dude, thank you so much. I appreciate that, man. Thank you for the support. I really do appreciate that. That goes a long way, and I got to start somewhere with that because it really does help. Because making money off of YouTube views is not what it used to be. I used to think, oh man, these people are making so much money off these YouTube views. I'm gonna do it, and it doesn't work like that. Oh man. 1050 Ti was $120 on B stock. Yeah, that is true. So Night Circus, where are you getting your 1050 Ti from? If I wanted to build a $150 to $200 PC that can handle light gaming, do you recommend any parts for my build? It will really help. All right, so you're probably gonna want to go. All right, so it's hard. If you're gonna do light gaming, you might want to. It's hard for $200. You might want to find like a Dell Optiplex on eBay, and then get like a $50 like GTX 750 Ti or something like that, and put that in there, and you have a $200 system right there. To recommend which type of Dell Optiplex is hard because there's a lot of them, but if you can find one with some sort of old i5 in there or something like that with some decent clock speeds above 3 gigahertz and at least 8 gigs of RAM, like DDR3 RAM in there, I think you could do a really solid $200 budget PC. I thought when you were saying AMD, I thought you meant the new Athlons, so RIP G5400. Oh yeah, the new Athlons are coming out, so those are going to be really cool to see. They're locked though, so that's interesting. My Core i9 7900X processor will be delivered by Amazon by next Saturday. What will be my gaming status then? Please tell. I'm so excited. What GPU are you going with that i9? That's a pretty good processor, by the way. I have a motherboard from 2015 with a newer processor works in it. What kind of combination you got going on there, Steven? I contacted Brock Hoffer, the artist that designed the CSGO Hyper Beast, and he's in the middle of designing a Kraken design for my NZXT vertical bar. I'll keep you posted when it's in the case. Dude, that is awesome. That's really awesome. You definitely gotta show me a picture of that because that's crazy. You got that hookup. You should also do those vids other YouTubers do, like Q&A sessions, so people get to know who you are as a person. People like YouTubers when they know who they're like, how they're like, bit of life story, etc. Yeah, people do like to know the life story. The last couple of Q&As I didn't really perform well, not in terms of views, but no one really asked questions. I was smaller. I was probably around 5,000 subs or something like that. But I think I'll do another one, or I'll just keep hosting these live streams for people to watch so that they can get an understanding of what I'm like. And that's why I really like having the live streams, is being really interactive with everyone. There is server grade stuff, but no PC stuff in ARM. That's true. Yeah, there's server grade stuff. And I'm not too familiar with them, but their name has started popping up a lot more in the last couple of months that I have noticed, at least in my experience. So I'm definitely going to be keeping my eye out on that, and I do want to build a server sometime soon. I built my PC back in September of last year, my first ever build, and a couple of weeks ago, one of my sticks of RAM went bad. What does this mean? How can that happen? It's hard for me because I haven't had a stick of RAM just suddenly die on me. I've had RAM that's, doesn't work well with certain chipsets and stuff like that. But if a certain RAM module went bad, there could be some sort of execution error within the firmware that doesn't, cache properly, and you could have like information being stopped in that RAM stick that doesn't get fully processed through, and thus just appears as nothing. So that could be something that happens. That's my best guess. I'm not really too savvy on RAM. But it looks like you're gonna have to get a new stick if you want it. That sucks. Sorry to hear that, man. And chips on my desk were for you. Oh, thanks, man. I can taste them from here. Hey, after this, I'm heading to NVIDIA's site to suggest I send you a 2080 Ti review. I'll mention your site and invite you all to do the same. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it. I would love to do a 2080 or 2080 Ti review. just to see what kind of performance there are. And I actually have an idea for a new way of benchmarking, because a lot of people do like similar type of benchmarking, and I think I have a new idea for benchmarking, and it's called optimal settings. And basically, what is this? Get out of here. And basically what optimal settings is pretty much like the video that I did with my 1070 and gaming at 4K resolution and getting pretty much 60 FPS in almost every single game. Optical settings is getting the most out of the looks and frame synchronization, while also getting the frame rates that you want by turning down certain settings that you really don't need that are under the ultra preset. So that would be what optimal settings is. And I think that would be really interesting to see what optimal settings is like for certain cards at different resolutions, because there's so much performance behind these cards that gets severely limited by certain presets, by game options and video settings. So that's just something that I thought I should share with you guys and see if you guys would be interested in that. And if I did end up actually getting a 1080 or 2080 sent to me, that I would be making that sort of comparison with the cards that I do test. How is $1,000 chair? Dude, this chair is freaking magical. I absolutely love this chair. I spend so much time in this chair, so like I absolutely love it. It's so much comfort, and I can't even describe it, because it's like, oh man, it's just a chair, right? So it's just like, how do you even sell a $1,400 chair? It's just like, well, it really is top of the line quality, and I mean, you literally sit on a cloud all day long. So I really have no complaints about it, and I don't get back pains from it. I get more back pains from sleeping on my bed than I do with this chair. I'd rather sleep in this chair. It just goes to show like how far the comfort really goes on this thing. I'll make a video when I install the Hyper Beast Kraken design. Yeah, for sure. Send me that link too, Mark. Just checked on Newegg for a 1050 Ti because I was just curious, and they're $250. I'm in Canada. Yeah, that's still overpriced even in Canadian dollars. I would only pay like, I mean, you can get like GTX 1060s for like $150 USD, 3GB models. I just upgraded to an i7 8700K and 32GB of RAM. Oh my god. Dude, that is awesome. Which ones did you go with? Just out of curious, what kind of RAM? And I was going to tweet a pic to you, but I'm going to make sure the cords are hidden. I went way too lazy with cable management. Dude, if you're getting all that in there, you got to do the cable management. No, I'm just kidding. You could do that way, but seriously, that's sick. I had selected my GPU, only ordered the processor. I think you can help suggest me one. All right, so what is your budget, Ben? With a 7900X, you can easily squeeze all the performance out of a 1080 Ti if you want, and you can snag a 1080 Ti for like $500 to $550. Gigabyte motherboard, i5 2015 motherboard. Mom said 15 graphics card. Huh. I have no idea. I don't know what that means. Oh no, my nose isn't clear. Do you recommend a very budget GPU and CPU that can handle light gaming? Sorry about the budget parts. They are very expensive these days. That can handle something like Rust really lightly. Yeah, I mean, okay, so for very budget GPU and CPU, like, yeah, are you looking for a brand new budget GPU and CPU, or are you looking for used hardware? Microsoft and Qualcomm have been working a while to make the ARM Everywhere dream come true. They have been, and I'm glad there's some sort of other competitor starting to come into these different markets. We'll see how long it is before they actually get into the desktop market, but that would be great to see. Let's see. I'm sad I have to leave the stream. I have to be up at 5 for school. It's 12:40 here. Hey, man, no worries. I completely understand. Trust me. And have a good night, man. The guy I brought my PC to told me that I need to replace it too. I just upgraded the 16 gigs of RAM, got the Corsair Vengeance LPX DDR4. And what do you need to replace, man? It can be used. Okay. All right. So if you're looking for used hardware, something that's really cheap, CPU wise, you can get a Dell Optiplex, which has the RAM, that has the CPU in there. I can't really recommend one off the top of my head. I would look onto like I know Toasty Bros and Zach's Tech Turf and Tech Yes City all do these crazy builds, and they're on a budget, of course. All do these builds within that price range. A 1070 in Newegg is $650. What? No. That's crazy. You think buying a used 1070 from eBay is smart? LOL. Yes, I do. I absolutely do. I would buy a bunch of 1070s off of eBay all day long. I mean, let's look at how cheap these are. I mean, I bought a bunch of GPUs all used. I just bought a 980 Ti, a 960, a 970, and a 1080 Ti, all from eBay used. That's 4 graphics cards. That's like almost like $1,500 in graphics cards right there. So if we go to buy it now and we look at shipping lowest first, we'll see these cards going at like $220 at the low end. This is missing fan blades. These blower style cards you can go with, but I wouldn't really recommend it. EVGA Superclock card. Let's see. Let's find a good reference design. All right, so here's one from Zotac, 235. Asus Dual, that's a good one, or Asus Dual, and this is a good one, the OC Windforce Edition. This is good, $250 or best offer. I would offer maybe $230. See if they'll take it. That's a good model right there. I do not like this. I don't like this one. This is not the Windforce OC Edition. This is the lower tier edition. I don't know what it is, but yeah, you can find these cards for around $250. I would snag 2 of these, honestly, if I could. They're just such great cards. I heart JD Tech out. Hey man, I appreciate being here. I was one who had the stick of RAM to go bad. I decided we just upgrade. Oh, all right. Yeah, you could just do the upgrade too. I have a 2015 gigabyte motherboard. I want to know if it's compatible with 2018 i5. No, it won't be. So, 2015 gigabyte Intel board, you're going to need to upgrade. The 2018 i5, right? So that's 8600K. That's all Intel 8th gen processors, right? So you need a motherboard that supports those 8th gen processors from Intel. So that's going to be there's several motherboards that are compatible with Intel 8th gen processors. That's something to make note of. So I would, if you're interested about compatibility, I would recommend watching my video about compatibility over here. It's kind of old, but still holds true to all the information that I had in there. And let's see if we can find it here. Actually, it was from a while ago, but you can find all your compatibility needs within this video. Where? Okay, so PC parts compatibility guide. I would highly suggest watching this video, and you will understand a lot more about what is compatible and what's not. I think $150 USD for a 4 gigabyte 980 is also good. Yes, $150 for a 980 is really good. Usually 970s go for around that price, but finding a 980 for that price is also really good. That's also pretty much equivalent to 1060 performance, a little bit better on the 3 gigabyte version. I don't know about the 6 gigabyte version, but $150 is really good. I emailed you the Hyper Beast Kraken design. All right, I'll open that up. 1080 Ti, thank you, bro. I can go with 1080 Ti, but can you please tell me MSI or Zotac? Are you going with the MSI Trio? Okay, so if you're going for 1080 Ti, MSI, I would really recommend the Trio version, which is, yeah, this is the one over here. Or, no, I don't think Duke makes it. All right, so this is the Gaming X Trio. I would recommend this one for the 1080 Ti. Some of the Zotac cards for the 10 series, I did some digging around, and they actually weren't that good of coolers. I don't know if you'll be overclocking with it or anything, but the MSI Trio cooler is really good. Really good. So I'd recommend that one. Hey bro, any thoughts on the AMD Athlon 200GE for the mid $50? I believe they are the best way to use, and the best way to use it. Probably the biggest tech noob here, LOL. Hey man, no worries. Everyone can be a tech noob. I was a tech noob for the longest time, and you know, I just started asking around and learning more about it. So that's exactly what you're doing. Okay, so the AMD Athlon 200GE is a very interesting processor, and I'm very interested to see what kind of performance it is. The only thing I don't like about it is that it's a locked processor, so you can't overclock it, and you can't really try to maximize the performance out of it. So for $50 still, I think it's going to be pretty interesting to see at that price point. And you don't need a dedicated GPU for it either, since it's an Athlon chip and it has integrated graphics. So we'll see what the performance is, but just my thoughts on it. You know, I would like to see that it was an unlocked chip and that you can squeeze more performance out of it. Also, you need some fast RAM with it as well. You know, you can get 8 gigs of RAM. That's pretty fast right now for around $70, maybe even $60 used. So that would be really nice to see. So, and what the best way to use it is just get a B350 board from AMD, or B3 or B450 board, and or even an A320 or something like that, and you'll be fine. Oh wow. Oh, that's a big yawn. I'm sorry, guys. What brand should I get if I'm getting a 1060? There's a lot of good brands for the 1060. I got mine. So I think one of the best coolers. Oops, I think I spelled that wrong. GTX 1060 Aorus Extreme. Except I can't. Aorus. There we go. Alright, so this is probably one of the best ones, but it is way overpriced. Like, look at this. $210, $250 for the Aorus Extreme card. I would not pay over $200 for this. I'd probably pay around the $180 to $200 for this card, and even then, it's still hard to do that because you can get a GTX 1070 for $225. So I mean, the best ones are, if we look at some GTX 1060s right here. Oh geez, I gotta scroll through all these fake ones. Hold on. All right, like the Asus Dual one is really good, and honestly, the EVGA ones are really good, and these little ones are fine. There's a lot of good cards here. There's really no bad cards. Like, I mean, they're all pretty good in my opinion. The 1060 doesn't need to be overclocked that far to get that much performance out of it. So yeah. What's the best GPU if I continued using my Ryzen 3? Which one is it? I'm still a tech noob. I had to have my friend help me with literally every aspect of my build. Hey man, no worries there. Ryzen 3 GPU, I'd probably max out at a 1060. GTX 1060 and an RX 580. Those produce a lot of frames, but the Ryzen 3 series will bottleneck it a little bit, but I feel like that's the upper limit as far as bottlenecks go, and you start getting into that territory. Once again, thank you, bro. Helped me a lot. The Trio version. Hey, man, let me know how it is. I always wanted one of those cards. They're really good looking, and they're really good coolers. What internet connection do y'all have? I'm having some issues. I have Time Warner, I think. It's not really that good. EJ the gamer. Hello, what is going on, man? Hope you're doing well. Man, you gave me another $15. Dude, thank you so much. This is how interest grows. Oh, hey, where's my fresh carved roast beef Sammy with red onions, heirloom Toms? Yeah, I love some heirloom tomatoes right now with red onions and carved roast beef. That would be so great right now. Thank you so much for the donation. Seriously, really do appreciate that. Um, i5 6600 CPU graphics card 950. Should I build a whole new computer or should I just go upgrade my previous build? What are you trying to play and at what resolution? Or what are you really looking for? You ever go through Newegg? I do. I do try to go through Newegg. And honestly, it's a hit or miss sometimes. Sometimes they got great deals going on. Other times it is way overpriced. I feel like I never find a middle ground with Newegg. But we can go through Newegg to look at some hardware if you guys are interested. Bruh, what? Chris, what's up, man? Did you just finish your stream or are you just checking back right now? Oh, look at this. A 4 terabyte hard drive for $184. That's not bad. It's a 7200 RPM drive, so excuse me, is pretty good at that price actually. So yeah, sometimes this is hit or miss. But yeah, I think to answer someone's question earlier, whether I learned this by myself or I went to school for it. So I went to school for computational science, and it was mostly software and stuff like that. And this came as an interest as a byproduct of learning all that stuff with computer and software engineering and stuff like that. And I got really interested in the computers. So I didn't really go to school for it. I just kind of looked it up a lot myself. So I self-taught myself pretty much almost everything when it came to computers and stuff, which is almost, you know, you could do that, you know, in a professional environment, or you can do it yourself. You can learn a lot yourself, and that's what I try to provide here on the channel, is actually having somewhere to go for people to understand how things are meant to be displayed. And I always try to get my facts straight. Sometimes I don't. That's just the nature of you know, trying to give information. I mean, that happens in every aspect, but giving reliable, concise information is pretty much what I do. So I didn't go to school for it, and it's crazy because it came off as a byproduct of what I went to school for. I've been looking for a build around $700 to run Overwatch, but prices are so high. So are you based in the US, Cohen, or are you based somewhere else? How to tell what graphics card are fake on eBay and which ones are not? Sure, I can answer that in just a second. I'm still watching. Love the vibe. Hey, Mr. Clyburn. He's always watching. He's always got my back. Always appreciating it, man. All right, so the knockoff brands or whatever, you can tell right here. If you don't see Asus, Zotac, Gigabyte, and PNY or any of those major AIB partners, right? The big name brands on here, there's no name brands that you'll see like some Chinese or some sort of Eastern language on here, and it is it's fake. They're not real. They might be overclocked versions of older generations of cards, and that doesn't really count at all. Oh yeah, and was it Mark sent me the email actually? So we're gonna look at this really quick. Oh man, so this is gonna be his GPU bracket, and this is sick. Wow. I'm really impressed. That is sick, dude. That's gonna look so good in your PC. So this is gonna be his GPU bracket, so this is gonna be really awesome. But anyways, like I was saying, that's how you tell how some cards are fake and how some aren't. You can just tell right when I see a legitimate one. All right, so this one is actually real. Yeston is an actual brand, and so is Colorful, but they're based in the Eastern market. But they're more expensive because they're made in the Eastern market and then they're shipped on over here. So there's a big price difference between the US market and the Eastern market. If I am especially playing Fortnite, PUBG, Overwatch, and Rainbow Six Siege, GTA 5 at 144 FPS, which CPU plus GPU? All right, so all that, and what resolution? I'm guessing 1080p or 1440p. CPU, I would probably, at the lowest, go either with, I would probably go with the Intel 8600K or a Ryzen 1600 or 2600. and overclock it. You really have to overclock the 2600 to start matching up with the 8600K gaming performance. It's still going to dip behind depending on the resolution. But if you want to get always like 144 FPS, I would highly recommend the 8600K at the least, or go with the 8700K. And then if you're going 1080p resolution, I would at least get a 1070 or a 1070 Ti. Or you could go 1080 Ti. If you're going 1440p and you want those consistent frames, definitely going to have to go 1070 Ti or 1080 Ti. I don't say 1080 because in overclock, 1070 Ti is the same exact performance as a 1080. Based in Canada. All right, so $700, I can understand. That's a different market, and I don't have prices and what the Canadian market is right now. But I could say that for $700 based in the U.S. market, you could probably go with a Ryzen 1600, a nice B350 motherboard. You can get a 240 gigabyte SSD, 2 terabyte hard drive, 8 gigs of RAM, and probably GTX 1060 gigabyte or 1060, either 3 or 6 gigabyte used for around $150, and you get a nice $700 PC out of that based in the US. Now for Canadian, in terms of the Canadian market, I don't know what that would translate to, but that's what I would recommend, at least in the market that I know of. 1080p gaming, 60 frames per second, games like Call of Duty and Battlefield. CPU plus GPU, if you're just doing 1080p, 60 frames per second, you can honestly get away with like a Ryzen 3 processor and a 1050 Ti. Call of Duty and Battlefield are well optimized games, so they don't really take that much to run. They do take a little bit to run, but they are well optimized. So you can get 60 frames if you turn down some of the settings a little bit with a 1050 Ti or a 1060, no problem. Let me leave, JD. I'll be there supporting you with all your works on YouTube. See you in the comment section of your next video. Until then, goodbye. Thank you, Ben. I appreciate you being here. I really do appreciate the work. I'm glad I can help you out tonight. Have a good night, man. Mark, no worries, man. You're welcome. Can you explain to me what overclock means? I'm always confused as to what it means. All right, so overclock. I'm actually working on an overclock guide for CPUs. If you guys are interested in that sort of thing, I'll pump it out faster. But right now, it's kind of on the back burner. So overclock. All right, so with CPUs and GPUs and even memory, you can overclock that. Overclock means pretty much pushing the frequency beyond what its marketed frequency is. All right, so let's say let's look at the 8700K for instance, right? 8700K, right? It says up to 4.7 gigahertz, right? So we have the base frequency 3.7. So the CPU is always gonna be running at 3.7 gigahertz. Then we have a max turbo frequency. 4.7 gigahertz is the max frequency it'll be running without an overclock. And this will happen just out of the box, right? These are guaranteed speeds right here. Overclock means going over this turbo frequency above the 4.7. So if you're doing 4.8, 4.9, 5, 5.1, those are all considered overclocks because you're going above what the stated max turbo frequency, above the range that is marketed and listed in the product description. Same thing goes for GPUs, and the same thing goes for memory as well. So that's what an overclock means. Have you ever bought from Micro Center? I haven't, because the closest Micro Center from me is like 5 hours away. I would love to buy from Micro Center though, because I have nothing here. I have a Walmart that has like, I don't know, a Wi-Fi adapter. Can you put a link to your Discord chat? Yes. So I heard that the Discord is actually not the right one. So if the link doesn't work, you guys can join the Discord at Tech Junkies over here. That's the name of the Discord server. Invite people. Oh, okay. Here we go. Here's the Discord if you guys want to be part of the Discord squad. And I'm going to put that in here in the description of the video if you guys are interested. So that way you guys will have that to hop in the Discord for. Hey, we have people in the Discord. What is going on, guys? So, yeah, I was talking about the RTX GPUs and stuff like that, which I think is really interesting. But I think the AMD GPUs that are coming out is going to be really interesting for everyone. And we'll see where that goes. And like Gregor said earlier, you know, he's going to try to get me a 2080. So I really appreciate that. Does that affect the durability or lifespan? All right, so does overclocking affect durability or lifespan? It can if you're running at high voltages. So in order to run an overclock, you need to up the voltage, right? So you need to supply more power to the CPU in order to run those higher clock speeds, that overclock, right? And depending how high that voltage is can lower the durability or life expectancy of that processor, which can be difficult to determine. But in my experience, it really hasn't done too much. You really won't notice anything. It's really negligible. I mean, processors do last a long time. I've been running a Ryzen 1700 for over a year straight at 3.9 gigahertz at 1.41 volts, which is a decent amount of voltage above the 1.25 volts, which is pretty decent of a jump there. So it can, depending on the processor and how far the voltage goes, but in most cases, it doesn't really hurt it too much. I tweeted you my setup, dude. All right, let's check out Rufus Dog's setup, man. All right, here we go. Ooh, here we go. All right. Yes, I do. I have a 1050 Ti, GTX 950, and an RX 570 just sitting on my desk. Wow. Look at you. You're going to be a tech YouTuber too? PC specs. i7 8700K. Haven't OC yet. Do you want an overclocking guide? I can help you out with that. Asus GTX 1070. Great card. 32 gigs of RAM. All right. Oh, look at that setup. This looks great. Oh, I see you got the Arctis headset over here. The Sony wireless headset. I don't know which keyboard that is. I'm liking the Corsair RGB mouse pad. I like the green theme you got going on. It's very consistent. And look how tidy this looks. This looks great. And this is the PC. Oh, yeah, I know that cooler. It's like the UFO cooler. And there's the 1070 right there. That looks like an iGo fan, if I can tell from that correctly. I wish there was a bigger window on it because I want to see more of the PC. This is that's great, man. You got a consistent theme here, and actually, you are the second person with a all green theme. Oh yeah, look at that. I love seeing the ring right through the mesh of the front panel right there. That's awesome. I love that. Overclock my 950 graphics card, and it's a lot better picture. Well, you don't really get like a better picture out of it. You just get like better frame rates out of it. Trust me, you don't want to see more. Oh, the cable management. LOL, all these pro looking setups are making my PC look lame. Hey man, I had a terrible laptop with a $4 AMD processor in it. I could show you guys this laptop. It is so terrible. I think it's got 2 gigs or 4 gigs of RAM, which isn't absolutely terrible. It is so slow, and I used to render out projects, like video projects on there in After Effects, Adobe After Effects, and I actually burnt the frame of my laptop from it running so hot. And it's pretty crazy, actually. So that's what I was dealing with for the longest time, and I was like, you know what? I got to get myself a full-fledged PC because I use a computer. Oh, I did all the time during school. Now I use it all the time for work, obviously. But in terms of, you know, doing coding and stuff like that, I couldn't code on my little laptop. It just wasn't cutting it, so I actually got a full-fledged PC. But we all start from somewhere, so don't even worry about it, man. I could have thrown my laptop on there as well, but was too lazy. I need to get a an actual like gaming laptop that I can actually render projects on, because there is a possibility of me going to Computex next year depending on where my channel is. I've been in the talks with a company that perhaps we will be going to Computex, which I would really like to do. It'd be all the way out in Taiwan, and I think it would be pretty good for the channel, and just setting up those things is really nice. Gotta start somewhere, kicks. I started with my son with EverQuest came out. I think we spent $350 back then. Yeah, man, you really got to just start somewhere. You went to school for computer science? Well, close. I went for computational science, which is a little bit different. Computer science is like the study of computers, whereas computational science is like how to use computers as a tool to conduct science and mathematics and algorithms and stuff like that, which some of that does branch off into computer science, but it's a little bit different in those aspects. But in a way, yes, and like I said earlier, like my interest branched off from there, from me actually getting interest into actual computer hardware. I didn't actually learn any of it in college. My laptop has an i7 6700 HQ and a 970M. That's actually pretty decent. I'm not gonna lie, that's actually a pretty decent laptop. Like Zach, Toasty Bro, Matt, etc., on the phone. Oh, really? You got all those guys like streaming on the phone? Or does Zach do live streams? But yeah, they're all good guys. I like Zach and Toasty Bros. They're all really good guys. And my keyboard is the Corsair K70. The K70 is a nice board. It's expensive, but it's a nice board. And you got the all green theme going on. And you got 3 different monitors. That's hilarious. I have like 5 different monitors. I don't have 2 of the same monitors, so I don't blame you. My old roommate played on PC, and I was always a console guy, so he convinced me to build a PC so we can play PUBG together. Yeah. I always used to be a Xbox 360 kind of guy, and I was always on console, and I finally stepped up to PC gaming, and it's a much different experience, but a lot more control over your games, which is awesome. No, I mean, sorry, do you talk to them on the phone? Oh, not really. I mean, we do have like personal conversations sometimes through like Twitter or something like that, but like I haven't really got to know anyone really personally, though. I mean, the closest tech tuber friend person that I know of that I've been like in engagement with for the longest is probably Lee from ComTV and Danny from Their Own Budget. Really good guys. Finally was able to join Discord. Yay! I got everyone joining Discord, so now you guys will know when I'm you're the best tech tuber. I mean, thank you, man. Always appreciating that. Always appreciate you guys. Oh man, I gotta stop pressing this button on here. What? There we go. I keep pressing the back button on here. I'm thinking of... Oh wait, nice to see... Oh, Fuck Wolf, what's going on, man? I haven't seen you in a while. Nice to see your channel growing, my good friend. Hope to see you go to Taiwan, and good luck in the future. Thank you. I hope I can get to Taiwan and all that. That would be an awesome experience, and I would love to bring you guys along that adventure, and just, you know, being able to do a daily vlog. Well, not the daily vlog, but the vlogs and the interviews and the stuff like that. And geez, I'm always constantly interested with this stuff. Glad to see you here, man. I'm thinking of buying an Optiplex with an i7 2600, 4 gigs of RAM, and I want to add at least 8 gigs of RAM and a GPU. Dude, that would be sick. An old i7 2600 is still a really good processor. And if you can find one with the 2600K, that would be even better. And then again, 8 gigs of RAM, that's all you need for gaming. And then you get like a GTX 970 for like 130 to 150 bucks, and you've got yourself a really decent, like, compact gaming machine. That's awesome. Julio, what are your thoughts about the new NVIDIA RTX cards and Intel 9th Gen? Okay, so NVIDIA RTX cards. We were talking about this a little bit earlier. The NVIDIA RTX cards have the ray trace push, right? But the thing is they're still based on a 14 or 12 nanometer architecture, whereas AMD just released a little bit of press talking about a 7 nanometer process that they have coming up this year. They got a new GPU coming out with a 7 nanometer process, and that is a massive jump in performance because that's literally half the distance. They can fit a bigger die and much more compact die on the GPU and fit a lot more performance versus what the RTX 12 nanometer or 14 nanometer die is. And even though they've got the upgraded tensor cores and stuff like that, they can only squeeze so much performance in terms of FPS with frame rates and high resolutions and stuff like that with the 14 nanometer process. So as far as RTX goes, I'm really interested to see how its RTX capabilities are, and it's good. Excuse me. It's good to see them pushing the RTX direction, but I don't think it's going to be nearly as much of a jump as it was going from Maxwell to Pascal, because Pascal was really good in terms of performance compared to Maxwell. Thanks for all the help. No problem, Steven. Also join the Discord channel. Well, thank you, Night Circus. I do appreciate that. Okay, yeah, I see Night Circus join the server. Yeah, I want to add a 980 Ti, maybe since the prices are dropping and it's dropping on RAM too. Yeah, the RAM prices are dropping by a lot and they're going to keep dropping. So I'm holding out till like next year to buy a bunch of RAM because no one sends me RAM. I don't know. I'm just not, well, I have had RAM sent to me, but from like an overseas company, not really like one of those big or well-known companies in the US. So I'll probably end up buying a lot of RAM in beginning of next year. I'll probably dump like $1,000 on RAM because I can never have enough. I'm always making new builds, so I'm like, oh, I need more RAM. And a 980 Ti is a really good card. If you overclock it, it will edge out the 1070. So I just bought one for $255. So, and it was the MSI Golden Edition, and I have a review of that coming up pretty soon when I get the card in, of course. Oh yeah, what do you think of the ray tracing tech? You think that will be gaming necessity in the next few years, or basically arbitrary? Like in the next few years, it's hard to tell because a lot of that stuff does accumulate over time, and I feel like ray tracing could potentially be almost a necessity in a lot of games if they want to push games to looking as realistic as possible. We've always been pushing in that direction for games, so I don't see why RTX wouldn't be pushing that direction as well and being a necessity later on. Maybe not now, but later on could be very well incorporated into every game that we see in RTX, some sort of RTX, just the same as we have shadow adjustments in our settings for video games, as well as, you know, other types of visuals. And it won't be something like Hairworks that you see in The Witcher 3. That's just focusing on one aspect, whereas light in a game is very important to the realism and the overall immersive experience that you get with the game. So I do really like the ray tracing technology. How practical it is right now versus a couple of years, I think it'll be more practical down the line. And the price will be high now, but later on, as all technology does with new tech, it will come down in price. Steven, start playing games on GameCube. I was the only person who got to school and tell his friends I was playing Mortal Kombat. GameCube was awesome back in the day. I used to play Kirby Air Ride all the time. Roof's dog. Oh crap, my Arctis 7S just died. Are you serious? Like right now? By January, you'll be getting RAM sent to you 24/7. Dude, I hope. That would be awesome if I don't have to... Like, I see a lot of the bigger tech channels and they pretty much get hardware sent to them, not like by command, but if they request for something, they usually get it and they incorporate it into a video. And it's just nice to see that because it becomes as a massive business expense, especially when you're trying to market some of these parts. I think it's a very good collaboration between companies and influencers and stuff like that. So hopefully that is the case later on. What games do you all play? So I don't get to play games very often, but I play a wide variety of games. So I like to play like World of Tanks for as far as like competitive gaming goes. I like to play World of Tanks. I'm not super competitive, but I do like that game. It does make me very angry all the time, but it's fun nonetheless in its moments. And then I play Colony Survival, which is like a Minecraft type of game that's a lot more relaxed and chilled out, which is really nice. And you know, that's one of the big ones. And I also love playing Forza Horizon 3. I love cars. I would love to do car reviews. If I can make a car review channel, I would totally do that. Because I love like automotive innovation as well. So those are some of the games. I also like to play Skyrim and Shadow of Mordor. Some of those older games, but really pretty games, are really cool to see. And I play a little bit of everything, honestly. Mr. Clyburn, man, your reviews are so detailed and put in like the perfect form. You spend so much time and effort in all your reviews and all your videos. Well, thank you, man. I try to put as much detailed information as I can. I don't try to go too much in detail that I start losing focus of what the review is actually about. But I try to cover everything that I would want to know as a consumer, because, you know, I was a consumer for a really long time, and knowing what my questions are as a consumer still apply to this day, even when I buy things for myself, and I know exactly what I should be looking for. I think someone said something in chat in Discord. Oh. Ooh, I'm in the stream window. Yeah, Chris, you in the stream window. Juicebox 100. Thank you, do. Oh. JD2K18. Rufus. Yeah, man. You know what it is. I wish JD would have my kids. One day, man. I'll have your kids. Dear Lord. Elma, this is getting to be a great chat, I can tell, before it goes south. It will be. It won't. I hope so. I mean, it will go south, Juicebox. It won't go south, Juicebox. Oh, that's funny. You guys are great in chat. Hopefully we have an awesome Discord server. I can tell already. Just thought of something. Can the i7 860 360GH with the 1050 Ti be able to run Witcher 3? That's a good question. So it won't be able to run the Witcher 3 at full, you know, like full, you know, high settings or anything like that at 1080p. At 1080p, you're probably going to have to run maybe close to medium to low settings, and even then you'd probably be getting around 40 frames per second. I could be wrong, but at that point it wouldn't be a CPU bottleneck. I think it would be more of a GPU, not a bottleneck, but it'd be more limited on the GPU, because The Witcher 3 is pretty graphically intensive. Speaking of tech tubers, who's your number one tech tuber besides yourself? That's a good question. I mean, I love a lot of the guys on there. I mean, they all have different aspects and different opinions about things, and I always respect everyone's opinion in the tech space. You know, there's the bigger tech tubers and there's the smaller tech YouTubers, right? So among like the smaller group, or not the smaller group, but the growing and aspiring group, some of my favorite ones are the ones I usually collaborate with. Is like Toasty Bros and Oz from Oz Talks Hardware, and Scattervolt and Nerd on a Budget and Zach's Tech Turf. So many good people right there. And in terms of the bigger YouTubers, like one of my number one sources of information is probably both the Steves, right? You have Steve from Hardware Unboxed and you have Steve from Gamers Nexus. Both one of my favorites. Very down to earth guys. Not that the others aren't, but I resonate a lot with those guys. And believe it or not, Gamers Nexus is actually my neighbors. They are one state above me. So I'm in South Carolina. They're in North Carolina in the U.S. So I should see if I could stop by sometime. Night Circus. This bottlenecking word stays in my mind. I mean, I wouldn't worry about it too much. If it does happen, you just upgrade later on. 1050 Ti is really not going to bottleneck it that much. Tech Crimson, at least I'm his favorite 30-second YouTuber. Man, you're doing really good for your size. Like, seriously, you're pushing the content, you're pushing the quality, and I do appreciate that. And you just keep going at it, seriously, and you'll start seeing results. It takes a long time, but it happens. Not judging, but why did you add gear to your YouTube name? So gear, why not JD Tech? So that's a good question. So originally it was going to be JD Tech, right? And I thought of tech gear as in like, oh, here's my gear, like, you know, I got my mouse, my keyboard, like here's all my gear, you know. But gear started having a different meaning, like the inner workings and the understanding, the cogs that make these things work and why they work, and understanding the fundamental principles of how this hardware interacts with one another and what makes it work, what makes it good, what doesn't, and just having a sense of understanding is really where the gear really started being more a part of the channel. So that's where I really like having the name gear tacked onto everything. So yeah, I think the TechTuber community is better than any other community. I think that as well. I also like Hardware Canucks. I love Dimitri and Eber. They're really good guys, and Dimitri is a very charismatic and passionate person. I really like his work a lot. It's the least drama in here. The most drama I've seen is probably between Jay's 2 Cents and Science Studio with Greg. But I both like them, so they can go at it, but I like both of them. The stream has become a Q&A. Yeah, we can do Q&A. I mean, I don't mind. That's dope. Cool. I'm in New Jersey. Dude, I used to be in New York. What's going on, man? I used to be your neighbor. That's not neighbors, lol. Well, you know, everyone's on the West Coast, so anyone that's like within 400 miles, I consider neighbors, honestly. It's great interaction, keeps peeps interested. 99% of tubers news-oriented or never respond to comments. Yeah, that's true. And the comment section does get really, really crazy and frantic at times, so I understand if they miss some of the people in there, but I try to make the interaction as much as possible because I want you guys to know that I appreciate every single one of you to the 9th degree, because it's important to have that sense of community and knowing that you guys can actually interact with me. So yeah, I got to 11K subscribers, and with the Tech Crimson, I'm ready for a fresh start. I know the grind takes a while, but the payoff is amazing. Absolutely is. I saw that your Kryptonic HD channel kind of stopped at 11K because you didn't know whether to be a tech channel or do other things and whatnot. So I think the Tech Crimson's a really good idea at starting off fresh. I played with Greg PUBG yesterday, and it was a stupid amount of fun. I bet it was. I like Greg. He's a good guy. I'm in Cali, but I was born in Asbury Park, New Jersey. Dang, dude, that's a far away from your birthplace. I live in Iowa. It sucks here. Yeah, what is there to do in Iowa? I don't know. At least I can hopefully supply some entertainment for you, man. Living in California is too expensive. I couldn't spend more money. I could spend more money on a PC. I could spend more money on better PC parts. I know, right? That's another reason why I don't want to move to California. It's way too expensive to live there. You could buy a sick setup every single month for the amount that you pay to live there. How's Senor liking his new setup? I love content like that. Dude, I wish I could do more content like that and just surprising people with stuff, and maybe I can. But I don't have a lot of friends, but I have a couple of friends that I just have really close. And to be able to surprise them with that was one of the best moments of my life, honestly. One of the top moments, because that was something I wanted to do back when this was a gaming channel. This was a long time before, and so he loves his setup. We've been playing some games late nights every now and then. So yeah, actually he sent me a text. I should probably look at it. I forgot to look at it. I've seen this. It's amazing. I gotta ask him, when we gaming, Senor. This is my new brick, by the way, because I got a battery case for my phone. It happens naturally. It'll happen in the future once you have tens, hundreds of more subscribers. It'll get to the point where it's impossible to answer every single thing that people say, but don't worry about it. Well, yeah, it is natural. And as long as your efforts are genuine, trying to answer people and trying to help people, even in the comment sections, not just the chats, just everywhere where you try to help, I think speaks volumes. And I'll always try to do that. Although it's stupid crazy expensive. Yeah, dude. I've thought about living there, but I was like, man, I just can't. Even all the tech jobs are over there, so it's even if I was trying to do a tech job and then do this on the side, it would just be way too much and too much to pay for. Brian from Tech Yes City joined in the Discord just to tell us he was having a good time getting bargains. LMAO. Where was this? This Discord? I don't see him in here. If he's in here, I'm gonna pee my pants. There's no way he's in here. You should do a live stream with the Senor, dude. I'm seriously considering it. I want to get the Senor on the channel. So the Senor, he works day and night, working 2 jobs. He does construction and dishwashing, and a couple other jobs. He just does a bunch of different jobs, just making as much money as he possibly can without a degree. And I want to have him on this channel. I want him to have his own online business. He's a very passionate person. He's very opinionated in certain areas, and he's also open-minded. So oh no, it went offline for a second. I'm sorry, guys. But hopefully I can get the Senor onto the channel, maybe have him hired, and you can start working for me once I start making a good amount of money from from YouTube first. California is expensive, but the trade-off is you get great weather and a populated area with great deals everywhere. I just budget myself as best as possible to get what I need. Yeah, that's true. Got to get Senor and yourself in a streaming game match. Yeah, he could make a very good. He's hilarious, so nothing's changed. Yeah, don't move to California or super expensive places. You'll be too overwhelmed with making rent and bills and have to juice or interest left for YouTube vids, and defeats the purpose. Exactly. I don't want to do that. For some reason, I don't know why this is like the thing is going on and off. I'm sorry. Now, I was in Greg's Discord. A lot of cool people, but I feel like Greg's audience into nerdy compared to Brian's Discord, which is more comedic. Oh, that's funny. We gotta have the comedic stance over here. I'm from the Silicon Valley, and living expenses there are ridiculously high. You need at least $120,000 a year to afford a decent apartment to live in your work. Exactly. You get higher paying jobs in California because it costs more to live there. And what's the point of that? You're just more stressed out trying to make rent versus having the possibility of running your own business in a less expensive environment to live in. I do 2 jobs too. I'm a police officer, DEA agent, and my second job I'm at now is armed security. Nice, man. Really get into that police officer type of armed business that you're getting into, or I have. Okay, you know what? I could see you as a police officer. My uncle was a lieutenant in the NYPD, which is pretty crazy. But you're in New Jersey, so I'm sure you've seen some pretty crazy stuff. Yeah, it's pausing ever so slightly from awesome to okay. Yeah, I try. Can't hear chat because I'm live, but super chat for you. Dude, Chris, oh my gosh, you're too nice, man. I'm going to come over there and just tell you thank you personally. You guys make sure you're checking out Chris on Coalition Gaming. He's the bomb. He's got a small channel, but he's growing it, and he's got some really interesting content on there. Catch them bad guys for us, exactly. I have a friend in the G-Hay area. I don't know what that is. He makes around, he makes around $80,000 and is eligible for food stamps because of his low income. Oh my God, that is insane. Yeah, I just wouldn't want to be in that position. That's why Gamers Nexus is in the position that they're in. They're in North Carolina, which is a much better position financially, and there's a lot of good areas in North Carolina and South Carolina a little bit. But financially, it's very smart to be where they are. At least in my opinion. I could be wrong. PUBG, low income, whoop whoop. I mean, oh no. Yeah, I mean, it's hard. It really is. It can get really hard trying to make that living. And right now, it's tough for myself as well. You know, I'm trying to save up the money so that, you know, I could be fully financially independent with YouTube. And I graduated from college about a year ago. And the thing is that what was it? I didn't get a job right out of school, and I still don't. And I graduated in computational science. You know, the area that I live in is just not good for technology, and everyone wants to look for experience. So, you know, if I can't get a job in my expertise, I'm going to make a job for myself, and that's pretty much what I'm doing for YouTube. It's not I can't, but how, and that kind of mindset's what really drives this channel, and the constant work that I put into it. 80K in food stamps. Yeah, that is miserable. That's basically where I am from. My family moved out of San Jose because it was too expensive. Even suburb homes are getting unaffordable. They really are. I'm probably going to try and do online school because I want to build myself street cred for jobs so that I can have experience. Exactly. And you know what? At the end of the day, guys, a degree is a product. College is a product. They sell it to you, right? They have a price for you. They sell it to you. They market it. All the schools, they're marketing their product. Higher education, you know, it's the difference between Android and iPhone. The thing is that you pay more for a Mac versus a PC. Meanwhile, one is cheaper than the other because it really doesn't make a difference. It's just the people that you know. And that's the biggest thing, is that a lot of the people that have really good jobs don't even need to go to college for it, because the product that college provided wasn't enough for them. It just enabled them to get a certain degree, but that wasn't the major factor. The major factor was actually having the experience or knowing someone. At least in my experience, that's what it's been like. It'd be nice to go to college and focus on it, but being broke is a problem. Exactly. And luckily, I graduated college without any student debt. I paid for all of it, so luckily, I didn't have to worry too much about that. I'm retiring soon, so I want to go to school for computers called PC Age. I can build a PC from watching so much YouTube. I got into police since I was 20, and I'm 47 now. I want to build and do YouTube. Dude, that's awesome. If you're saving that up on the side, you know, you're going to need a lot of money if you want to do a PC hardware YouTube channel, you can invest a lot of money. I've probably put at least $10,000 into this YouTube channel, maybe even more. So if you have that saved up on the side, obviously don't spend it all at once, but portion yourself, work up to it. And, you know, if you have that money saved for the startup costs, you got a lot going for you, and that's awesome. I hope to see you on YouTube, and, you know, we'll all be collabing. Teachers can't afford any of the Bay Area unless they move 2 hours away, and that's just crazy. People bash online school, but the more you look at it, the more you think, this says I can do a job, and not that I'm going to get a job. For the most part, the popular jobs require certain things, certifications of things colleges don't provide. Exactly. You know, online school, higher education, regular education, it doesn't matter. It's all the same. Sometimes it depends if you're going to a certain school for a certain degree, for a certain specification or a certain job that you're getting. But other than that, no. Online school versus regular school versus higher education, for most degrees and jobs, it's really not going to matter. I have a YouTube channel, but I want to grow and be like you and others. That's awesome, man. I hope to see that grow. And hopefully you can start investing into that soon, because, you know, YouTube is saturated, but if you can define yourself in your own niche, it's a gold mine, and you really do have a potential. Let's see. Arizona has great online programs, so does Stanford, Princeton, etc. Yes, they do. And those online programs provide fantastic alternatives to busy lifestyles and people with kids and so on and so forth. Just make the time, and it makes you it makes you very independent as well. So that's also really good. Universities turning into brands. Exactly. Universities do turn into brands. And I know this isn't really tech or hardware related, but you know, they are a brand. Harvard is a brand. Duke is a brand. A lot of those colleges are a brand, trying to sell their products. Some brands are more popular than others, and sometimes people regard them with higher integrity because that's who they hear of the most, and saying, oh, you know, that's Harvard, or hey, they got an 8700K. It's a really good processor. You know what I mean? I'd love to collab one day with you and Zach's Tech Turf and others. Yeah, that would be awesome, dude. If we can get that going. I like doing YouTube for the interactions and just knowing that someone else might have a better way of doing things. I thought we're already pretty good. For me, it's like getting free education. It is. YouTube is a fantastic source of information, and also trying to provide that here is also a lot of fun as well. And that's pretty much what I make the YouTube channel for, is trying to bring people here into that scenario. So it's a lot of fun, and it's really good. And I think there's a lot to be learned on YouTube, and a lot to be not so learned on YouTube, like watching the Logan brothers or the Paul brothers or anything. Philips Hue behind you. No, actually, no. They're actually cheap RGB floodlights that I have, and they actually work really nicely. I really like them. They have vivid colors. They have their own controller, and they were like 17 bucks each. So really not that bad at all. I want to go to state school for cybersecurity. I ain't got money to go elsewhere. Well, you could go to state school. You could go to online school, save yourself some money, and don't have to do room and board, which is the chunk usually of what a semester costs. So that wouldn't be a bad idea either. Cybersecurity is a good job to go into, especially getting a government job and getting all those benefits, and potentially a pension as well. That'd be awesome. It's an amazing source of information. Most things I've learned in universities, there's tons of YouTube channels on it. Exactly. There's always a YouTube channel based on it that you can learn from, and just a wealth of knowledge that you can learn. I've learned a wealth of knowledge from just always watching YouTube channels. And I've learned a lot from PC building in the past months or two. Oh, that's awesome. Hopefully you learned something from me too. My writing is so off just because my backspace key goes back 2 letters since I dropped water on it. So much for waterproof. So every time I mess up my text, I end up deleting keys/words. Ah, that sucks. YouTube is amazing. JD taught me how to build my PC. It also taught me how to use Photoshop. If y'all are interested in military history, look up the Great War. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad I was able to teach you something. And I've been thinking about doing a full comprehensive guide of a PC build, like all the way down to where you plug in the wires, because sometimes people don't explain that. And it's a lot of work because, especially with newcomers, they don't know what a modular power supply is and a non-modular power supply is, and so on and so forth. And some of those things it will take up too much time to explain in a video talking about just building the PC. So I have to make like separate videos on the subtopics of building a PC before actually having the full comprehensive instruction set for building a PC. The sad part is that I want to go there to cheer too, so I need the room and board. Oh, really? Oh, yeah. That can be tough, getting the room and board and not trying to be there. Nice. You ever consider using Windows 7? It just feels a lot cleaner and simpler to me. A lot less fluff. Absolutely. I've considered it. Just not the same security features, unfortunately, and it's not supported anymore. But, you know, I might do a Windows 7 machine sometime. But unfortunately with Windows, you know, if you connect it to the internet one random day, you know, you restart your PC and then Windows 10 is starting up on your PC and you have no control of it. You know, so it's like, you know, I can only do so much with that. University of YouTube. Hey, that could make a YouTube channel right there. It's not like one YouTuber will have all the answers, but the fact there are multiple YouTubers means multiple perspectives and different approaches that might work better than others. Exactly. And that's why, you know, people say, oh, there's already enough tech YouTubers and stuff like that. Like, I could watch 10 to 20 different reviews of the same exact product. I read a bunch of reviews. I read all the different perspectives, all the different experiences of the product before I make the purchase. At least that's what a well-informed consumer would do, is read all the different reviews, watch all the different reviews before considering or buying their purchase. You know, no one's going to have the solid sole answer for anyone. Sometimes they do, but sometimes they don't. That's why there's always a need for more people, and there's so much technology on the market too. So it's like, man, you really need so many people to cover all these things. I get so many emails like, oh, you want to review our gaming mouse or a headset and this and that. I'm like, I can't. The videos I make have to have a little bit more behind them than just that. Please do that comprehensive guide. I struggled so much finding the correct places to plug things in. Absolutely, I will. And did you watch my motherboard anatomy review? Because that would help you out a lot, knowing where to plug in things. It's helpful to be honest, not just the hardware stuff, but for me, once I learned where all the parts go, the scariest part was all the wiring. There's so much going on, and it can affect a first build, absolutely. And my first build was almost 3 years ago now, believe it or not. So some people have been building computers since like the 80s and know way more than I do, but I've learned a lot in the last 3 years, but that was one of the most terrifying things, and I know exactly what it's like to be a first-time builder, and I think I can put together a pretty good review, but it would probably be like a 70-minute video that isn't freestyle. It would be all scripted, so it would probably take me, I don't know, probably 4 months to make. I've watched a ton of PC build guides, but the whole fan, RGB connections, and wires period are blown over my head. Dude, the same goes for me, and this is the problem with RGB connections. So fan headers usually have 3 or 4 pin connections. There's no more than that. With RGB connections, there's a 12-volt 4-pin connection. There's a 5-volt 3-pin connection, and there's a 7-pin like analog or something like that connection. I don't know what the cause of it is, but there's like 3 different types of RGB connections I can name off the top of my head, and everyone has different USB hubs or RGB hubs, RGB connections, and everyone has different software and different RGB headers, and the thing gets so complex that in order to do a comprehensive review and guide to it is almost impossible, because everyone has something different, and at that point there's no one legend or key that can tell you for everything that you come across that has RGB in it. Oh, and after the wiring, the next scariest part is being locked out and not knowing how to boot up Windows 10. Yeah, if you can do a vid on that, it'd be great. Like, if you watch that video, oh wait. Yeah, the motherboard vid was the first vid I saw from you. Complex but helpful. I'd have to rewatch it probably. Yeah, it is a bit complex. I would recommend to someone who's just trying to get into motherboards and understanding what the connections do and understand it. That's more of a mid-tier video. What I would watch first is like all the things that you would put into a computer. So understanding all the different components, so you understand what connections are what. So when I'm talking about a CPU connection or fan connection or a motherboard 24-pin connection or RGB or front I/O connection, I would suggesting watching a video that talks about all the different components before going into the motherboard video. I should have mentioned that in the video actually. I think I did watch that video. It was just so new to me when I did my build that I was just confused beyond belief. Oh man, I could make like an easier form of that, just understanding where things go. So it's hard to make it sound as simple as possible without being too vague, and I was teetering on that line a little bit. I was like, it can get really too vague at some points, and I was like, all right, I got to be specific. So you have to look into the manual and understand what is what on the motherboard. But what I was pretty much providing in that video was like, okay, here are the things that you need to know, and I would recommend watching it like 10 times over to really understand what is what. Even if you don't understand what it is, just remember the name, and then you'll start associating names with certain things that you're working with certain pieces of hardware. I hate it when people say, I have 20 years of experience on PCs. When technology has changed so much, I would have only cared about someone's opinion if they have 5+ years at least, since 20 years doesn't matter. It's true. Some experience is great if they're working with old technology, but if they're not, you know, that experience will become irrelevant. Experience does become irrelevant over time, because depending on what that subject is, of course, because that experience evolves and changes. Like, you might not be as tech savvy as someone who has 10 plus years under their belt, but you probably do something different that they would never do because you're constantly learning more and more. Exactly, and people learn different things. I just love cables. Don't make me want to throw my PC out of the window at all. I know, right? Don't we love those cables? Old experience sure helps you with tricks new folks might not be aware of, though. Exactly. So you have pros and cons to both sides of the argument. Someone who has 20 years versus someone who has 10 years or 5 years of experience. There are certain tricks that you just learn over time. Or the thing is, with some people that have a lot of that experience, while that experience might be outdated with that technology per se, somehow or sometimes troubleshooting that piece of hardware or something goes awry, and learning the procedures of certain experiences is something that is timeless and will never really change. Jorge, yes, be careful with the different types of RGB, different voltages, exactly. So you can't plug in a 5-volt header into a 12-volt header. If you have a 5-volt RGB cable, it has 3 pins on it. If you have a 12-volt, it will have 4, I believe. And if you plug one into the other one, it'll go up in smoke. So I don't really recommend doing that. Perfect Nation Network. Ayo, what's your quickest any percent on Sonic Adventures 2? I know you hitting that grind. Sonic Adventures 2, what is that? My brother been into computers over 30 plus years, and he'll always tell me it's something you can always learn. Exactly. You can always learn it from somewhere, and the fact that we have YouTube in this day and age is really awesome, and just being able to just having that is always a valuable asset. So that's what I try to do. Trying to learn on YouTube at the same time as educate people. So that's what my reviews are pretty much consisted of, is trying to bring new people in, explain it on plain terms, but also go in depth for people to understand certain things. Like when I first bought a PC case, I didn't think of airflow. I was like, oh, what the heck? Who thought of airflow? I was like, I never thought about that. You just assume that the case had fans, it would get air, right? You never thought, oh, yeah, airflow can be a concern. So when I make the reviews, I make it so that people understand the different aspects to consider when purchasing a case, even if the case that I'm reviewing isn't particularly the case that they're interested in, they're at least learning something to make sure or understand the perspective of what they're looking for. Your headphones hurt your head. Yes, they do. They do hurt my head over time. They just dig into my skull. I want to make sure the next time I get headphones, they have the band up top, so they're just suspended above my head. Otherwise, they just hurt. So I do this a lot of the time. I just have the cup resting on my head like this. He likes being able to hear himself talk. I can't hear myself talk. Well, I can like this with the one. If I can't, I start mispronouncing things. It's crazy. No, I'd probably be fine if I just start talking like this. It doesn't really matter. I can talk either way if we take it to that level. But yeah, I wonder what other hardware news has come out. I remember someone asked me about Intel 9th Gen, which is also interesting as well, because they apparently have a soldered processor, which is really interesting to myself. I would love to test out those new i9 processors. You need headphones like that $1,400 chair. LOL. I know, right? Just absolute comfort. If I could just take a piece of this chair and just put it on my head instead of these, that would be fantastic. Not sure if you answered already, but what are your thoughts on RTX lineup and the technology that follows it? I have answered this in the stream already, but I'll answer it again. I really don't mind. So the RTX technology is not going to be really relevant now. In the years down the line, I feel like it will become more important over time and become a very popular, what do you call it? A very popular setting in games to this day. So that's important to know. And I think the RTX lineup will be quickly outdated by 7nm architecture that AMD has coming up this year, actually, versus the 14 or 12nm architecture that the RTX lineup is based on, because you can only squeeze so much performance out of FPS and resolution with the 12nm production process. So having 7 nanometers, you can fit a lot more on the die and have a much more powerful card. So that's pretty much what I think of RTX, and I know Nvidia is going to be on the heels of AMD when they release their 7 nanometer card. So I think it might get quickly outdated pretty fast. LMAO, PewDiePie voice, but can you do this? But can you do this? No, this chair can't. It can't recline, guys. It can, but it doesn't go like 180 degrees like most of the gaming chairs. Oh, microphone's falling. What's your thoughts on something like the Philips X2 X27 Fidelio headphones, my dude? They got a nice looking band. I actually haven't looked at them. Philips does make some good drivers though, or at least use some good drivers in my experience. I like Astro only because they all had good sound comfort and the wireless have a minimal delay. Yeah, I've considered wireless headphones. Not for the PC though, I guess, but for gaming, I think I would like everything to be wireless. Honestly, I would love to have. I have a wireless mouse, but it's not the main one I use. I would like a wireless mechanical keyboard that uses optical switches and also has a numpad on the left. If I can have a mechanical keyboard with a numpad on the left and it's also wireless, that would be my dream come true, because my productivity has went up insanely by having a numpad on the left, believe it or not, on my keyboards. I just bought an AMD Vega 64. Should have waited. Well, you know, there's always things that we could have waited on. The Vega 64 is an interesting card because it has very good hardware. It's just, I don't know. There's something between optimization and the hardware that just isn't getting along that gives the weird performance that Vega 64 does have. But, I mean, if you wait a little while, maybe you could sell us Vega 64 now and then try to get the AMD 7nm production or whatever you can really afford at that point. But you should be able to game, no problem with that. Do you think one day a 1080 Ti will be like a 1030? So crazy. Yes, it will be. Honestly, think of buying a GTX 770, right? There's NVIDIA Quadro cards, which were $4,000 back in the day, that go for $12. You know, it's honestly insane. So I do think the 1080 Ti will eventually, like a couple years down the road, will probably be $150 GPU. The same as you see for 780 Ti and so on and so forth. Joe Rogan and Elon Musk podcast live started 22 minutes ago. I may have to abandon the stream. Hey, no worries. Most PC techs that have 20 years experience have been updating with the PC world. They have to, just to keep up with the tech. In my honest, 20 years experience will always be an advantage in the tech world. Yeah, there's always an advantage to having all that experience and just having a good amount of time on your hands in what you've been doing. And just staying updated is honestly the biggest thing. What decently priced gaming headset do you recommend? I use Turtle Beach from a PS4 that works on my PC, but I want an actual PC gaming headset. You're looking for wireless or regular wired? On Amazon there's a couple of good options here. So if we look on Amazon.com, wireless gaming headset, or no, PC gaming headset with mic. Highly rated, well-priced products. No. Oh, these are pretty good. The Sennheiser, the wired ones, the game ones are actually really good. And these are going for $135, so I would highly recommend these. Hardware Canucks did a full video on these. The Sennheiser are one of my favorite headsets. I don't have any because I haven't had the money to really spend on headsets. I've mostly spent money on internal hardware for PCs. So these have really probably the best mics out of all the headsets that I've heard, and the best quality and comfort. So yeah. Damn, those Philips look nice. Thanks, Rufus. I'm going to have to look at those as well. Probably wired, but I'll take suggestions for both. So I would recommend the Sennheisers, or there's a couple other Sennheiser gaming headsets that I would look into. Wireless, I would probably recommend the Logitech G933. They're not the most comfortable, but they are the best sounding. What does the 7 nanometer architecture provide? Better clocking, closing the silicon lottery. Okay, so basically, 7 nanometer architecture pretty much means so every die has transistors, which are pretty much on and off switches, and they close the gap in between the transistors, right? So you have 14 nanometer, and then you have 7 nanometer. You literally half the distance, so you can fit 2 transistors in that spot of 7 nanometers, right? If you have a 7 nanometer distance, you can fit 2 of those versus the 14. So you can have a much more compact die with a lot more transistors or cores packed onto there as made of the transistors, and you can fit a bigger die as well and just have a incredibly dense and powerful GPU die on the actual GPU, which will boast a lot more performance than having 14 nanometer architecture. Just join Discord. I'm still learning how to use it. So am I. So no worries, man. Arctis 5, if you want wired, my dude. Arctis 7S sounds flat. Yes, they do. That was in my review. They sound flat, and people prefer that for gaming. But for me, honestly, I don't think that really gives you an advantage because, they say you hear more, but honestly, I don't think you do, in my experience. I ask a lot of questions, rather have an answer from a YouTube I like than some engine. From a YouTuber that I like than some engine. I can understand that because I can actually give you like a human answer. I got a promotional email for the Philips for being on sale on Newegg for $199 compared to the normal $303. Oh man, I'd so be down to pay $200. Hold on, let me look at these. Alright, we're gonna look at these headphones really quick. That was not what I was expecting. Ooh, baby, look at these. Those, and they're open back too, so you got that open sound stage, which sounds super, like realistic. Oh man, these look sweet. My next pair of headphones are honestly going to be the Audio-Technica M40Xs. I have the M50Xs, but the M40Xs are much better. Technica M40X. There we go. There they are. $82. Nice. They're on sale. So it's usually $100 for this, so I might actually purchase them. $82 for this. This is a really good headset. Oh, it's refurbished. Never mind. So it doesn't. They're not that comfortable, but if you get a pair of these big cups, you can really do some good hearing damage with that. I have a deep voice like you, but what is the best mic and interface you think to buy? Honestly, the one I have is really good that I have, I think, in the description. Where is it? If we look in the description over here, I think I have it. My studio gear. Yeah, it's in my studio gear. If you click on that link, it takes you to all the stuff I have in here. So where is it? Where is it? Where is it? It's good on a budget too, because I'm on a budget. So, son of a gun. All right, hold on. This is broken. Why is this broken? Oh, come on. Here we go. There it is. Probably could have just typed into the address bar, but you know, gotta stick to what I want to do. Alright, so this is my studio kit. Ignore that picture. It's a weird picture. Where is it? There it is. There's my microphone right there, and there's a mixer. This was like $50. That's $100. I bought the cable, the XLR cable, that was like $10. And honestly, this is a fantastic combination for what I have too. So really good. How much priority do you give to power supplies? Depends on the type of build that I'm doing. They are important as far as the quality that you're buying. There's a lot of fantastic options for power supplies though. You've got Seasonic, you've got EVGA, you've got FSP, you've got Be Quiet, and Corsair is pretty good. I hear a lot of people rave about them, but my friend had some that died on them, but everyone has a power supply that dies on them, honestly. Every piece of hardware will die eventually, and you'll just get a bad one. So, yeah, power supplies are pretty important, but you don't have to spend that much money on them if you're looking just for power. If you're just looking for power, most of the parts are getting pretty efficient, so you don't have to worry about it too much. Ever heard of Dave To Do? Absolutely, I have. You and him would make such a great collab video. Yeah, he's a pretty chill guy. Although his recent video about the Fortnite thing was interesting. I've never really shown clips of Fortnite, so I can't really relate to it. But yeah, he's a pretty cool guy. He's pretty honest and genuine with his reviews, so I really do respect him. Sent it to JD Rufus. I'll kick down some more. Send it to JD Rufus. Wait, what are we sending it? What are we sending? I recall you saying that you built some websites. Any chance you could share the URL so I can take a look at your work? Oh yeah, of course. I have my own personal website. Some of these I built from scratch. Some of them I built using a website builder. But even then, it takes some sort of knowing of how to build a website to know to optimize and best use it to the best abilities of the tools that they offer. Oh, you're on Kit. Yeah, I use Kit, and it's all linked to Amazon, so it'll take you exactly where you need to go. Yo, JD, we allowed to put links in the Discord? I can link those headphones if you want. Yeah, of course. I found them on Amazon, though, but if you find them on Newegg, yeah, send those over. And what's the color certified for? Gold, bronze? All right, so they're pretty much efficiencies, right? So if you have a power supply that promises like 750 watts and you have like a bronze rating, it'll take out a certain amount of watts from the wall, and at the higher, what is it, like when you load up when the PC is under load and it requires more wattage, the power supply will supply or take the same amount of wattage or a good steady amount of wattage from the wall. Whereas if you have the lower power supply ratings, it'll draw more power from the wall when the PC is under load. So there's this curve, right? So on this curve, you have how much power the PC is requiring when it's under load. Say you're gaming, and so the curve is getting pretty high, and you're requiring a lot of wattage. So say you have a bronze power supply, it's gonna draw more power from the wall at this point versus a platinum, which would pull less power from the wall at that certain wattage. It would be truer to how much power it's actually supplying to your computer. So that's kind of the gist of what it means. Power supply overlooked. Can't wait for JD reviews. Headphone promo. Would you want me to do power supply reviews? They get very technical, and I would have to learn a lot in order to do a power supply review. I could do overviews, but not a full-on review. I can't personally, honestly call it a review until I know exactly what I'm talking about. Link has been sent in general chat. All right, cool. Thanks, man. Yikes. Does it have a scan code? How did you learn HTML, CSS at the company I work at? They want me to make code changes to their websites like I already know how to do it. Oh, jeez. Really? That sucks. I hate when people just expect you to do all these certain things. All right. So really quickly, I could show you some things. If you ever need to know how to change certain code. All right, so here's one of my websites right here. I built it using a website builder. But I honestly made this probably, you can't just, someone who doesn't know anything about building websites can make a website like this, because I was utilizing all the different functions in here. So you have all sorts of different, widgets going on at the same time. But anyways, if we go back to YouTube, I'll show you how to edit some of the CSS and HTML in there. So just finding where to go. So if, say, you need to change the subscriber count on my YouTube channel, you can literally hit right click and hit inspect, and this will open up this portion of the code in the website itself, and it'll be highlighted as well once you hover your mouse over the string of code. So we can see in here, you can kind of just start digesting it a little bit, and there you can find the subscriber counter. So if I wanted to change it to like 34 million subscribers, and I can literally do that, just enter it. So now I have 38,805,456 subscribers. So boom, guys, I have well over 30 million subscribers. I have passed the Linus Tech Tips. I'm the fastest growing YouTuber in the world. So boom. I'm back. What's up, Cohen? So it's best to get a surge protector. Yes, I would highly recommend getting a surge protector to plug in your PC. I never really recommend plugging your PC directly from the wall. Just any sort of surge that does happen, you want to at least have your power supply protecting, and the power supply has built-in functionalities to actually protect from the components, protect the components from potential surges. I can't find one, Grigor. About drawing power. It's just a regular promo. Can he see on Newegg? Have him check, please. I made it. What is going on, Josh? Where's my Discord? I've lost it. I have too many tabs open here. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, word. Look at this. These look sweet. I can't spend $200 right now though, because I've spent $700 this week on on hardware and audio equipment, all to bring you guys more stuff. So yeah, we're doing coding now. Interesting. Yeah, I can teach you guys some coding if you want. I went to school for it, but you know, I don't have a job in it because, yeah, you know, the system. Josh, $2. Hey buddy, what? Dude, you don't have to donate to me. That is so kind of you. Thank you, man. What is going on, Josh? As you guys don't already know, I've already shouted out Josh earlier in the stream, but you should check out his channel. He's got good live streams going on with Fortnite and everything. He's getting actually pretty good at it. I am well behind that curve. I am not good at Fortnite. I like to get the HyperX. Oh, the HyperX clouds. Yeah. Yeah, the HyperX clouds actually have some decent headphones. This headphone in particular is really hurting my head right now. And it gives me, you know, that hair line, which is really nice. What platform did you build that website on? LOL. I graduated with a marketing degree, so my boss thinks I know how to code. Oh, God. It sucks that your boss wants to expect all that out of you. I built this on Squarespace, and I could have done WordPress or Wix, but I found Squarespace to be not the easiest, but the most intuitive once you got to know it, and one of the most powerful website builders in my opinion. And so I was able to do a lot of customization with just what they were offering, honestly. I am good, thanks buddy. We should play. Yeah, we should play sometime when I get the time. I literally only play like once out of the month, and it's completely random, but I will try to dedicate more time to this YouTube channel and be able to actually make schedules like professional YouTubers do. Oh, are we donating now? Okay, cool with me. Oh my gosh, you guys, you guys are so nice. Oh my gosh. LOL, $10. Woo, yeah, man. $25. Oh my gosh. Down payment for some new phones. No better time than now. Oh gosh, you guys are gonna make me buy these phones so that I don't have to have these stupid things laying on my head all the time. As much as I do like this this headset, it really digs into my scalp over time, so it gets really bad at times. You've been going up in subscribers. You deserve it. Thanks, man. I try to put all my work into everything that I have here in YouTube. And I have another video coming out for you guys tomorrow, actually, building and this beauty. Hold on. I'm going to show you a little teaser. You guys ready for this? You guys ready for this? All right. Check this out. Ooh, what is this? Oh, new phone. Who this? This is the new. It's not a new, completely new PC, but I built it inside the Cooler Master H500M. It's a pretty informational video, so anyone that is new to PC building should watch this video because it will be helpful. It's not a complete PC guide or anything, but it's just a build experience inside the Cooler Master H500M. And it is a fantastic case. It was so much fun to build inside of it, and it's going to be a cool video tomorrow. Squarespace is good. It allows a little bit more freedom than Wix or WordPress, in my opinion. Exactly, and that's what I found with geez, I'm losing my words, with Squarespace, because it honestly allowed for a whole bunch of different things that I can do, like, and it's just very intuitive, and once you start learning it, it's just very powerful. Just remember us in a year when you have 350,000 plus subs. Oh man, I can't even imagine myself like beyond 80,000. I know that's a bad mindset, but I really can't. Like 350,000, that's a lot. I just hope people are watching the videos if I do get to that point. I just hope people are actually watching that, and people do stick around. I've seen people that have been really supportive, and they're really supportive for a little while, and then they kind of like fade out because, you know, life gets busy or whatever. So I just hope some of those people are still sticking around, you know. You're so real. Oh, thanks, man. I try to be as real as possible. I mean, that's important in life, because I've never really got caught up in the things that are really like just, what is it, materialistic. Like, as materialistic as my YouTube channel is, it's like it won't own me, like, you know, and I won't let companies own me or dollar bills own me. I'd rather have the experience of life and having a community here, which is a lot more rewarding. Granted, I do need to be able to live and pay bills and stuff like that, but the ultimatum is having that real sense of community and being real with everyone. Hey, what's up? It's your boy Alex. What is going on, Alex? How you doing, man? I need to upgrade a few things in my PC. Oh yeah, you got like the 7700K and the GTX 1060, which is still really good. You might want to upgrade the CPU cooler, although it's probably fine for you, but you could upgrade it to something like the Arctic Freezer 33, which is like $30, and it's a really good CPU cooler. I'm out, mate. Good night, and can't wait to see more new content soon. Yeah, man, tomorrow the content's coming. Have a good night, man. Wow, a beast. Are you streaming on it now? Yes, I am streaming on it right now, actually. This is the Ryzen 1700 build that was my personal rig. Now it's going to be my streaming rig, because it's a beast at streaming and handling things. The 8600K is too, but the 1700 is more capable in my opinion. And it's got a 1070 in there. It's perfect for streaming. You PUBG running matches with Tech Crimson. No, I actually don't have PUBG installed on here. It's on my other computer, and it's also outdated, so I need to download like a mega update, and also I'm terrible at it, and it's on the other computer. But I would join up with you guys and just be terrible. I would probably be the weak link and drag everyone down and have everyone killed. But, you know, if you guys are in for that, I'm in for it too. I'll be here till 1 mil, even longer. Oh, Josh, I hope I can make 1 mil. That would be crazy. I can't imagine it, but I hope so. I'll play PUBG with you guys. I'll provide the comedy, because I ain't good. Neither am I, man. Matthew, upcoming 8-core 16-thread Intel or Ryzen. Man, that is tough. So the thing with Intel is they have those insane clock speeds, right? That Ryzen is still working on. And right now, like with gaming, that doesn't really matter too much. It does in some games, but like Adobe applications, that does matter a lot, is that core frequency. So if the 8-core 16-thread Intel chip comes in, we'll have to see how that compares or fares against like the 2700X or the 1800X. But depending on its price point, you might be able to get more out of a Threadripper PC. But if you're getting one for gaming, you won't even need 8 cores and 16 threads, in my honest opinion. So they might have like a $500 8-core 16-thread CPU from Intel, but you can have an 1800X or 1700X or 2700X from Ryzen that is like $300 or below that provides almost the same amount of performance in terms of gaming and streaming. I would like to upgrade PC cooler. Send me a link to the part in Instagram. All right, man. I can send you the link to the review I have if you want to check it out, so that you have like a better idea. I don't want to just say like, oh yeah, buy this one, you know. I have the 6700K now. The 6700K is still a really good processor. So is the 4790K. 7700K is a good processor. It doesn't really do anything over the 6700K, but it's still a good processor. Hey JD, send me the link. Oh, already said that. BRB, gotta take my contacts out. Don't say anything cool until we get back. All right, I'll try to be as uncool as possible for the next 2 seconds. So yeah, you guys can ask me your questions if you'd like. Eamon, cool. Hey, what's up, man? But yeah, we have some new Intel processors coming out. I don't know what to expect from them. It all depends on what frequency they're offering, what price they're asking for, because Ryzen is just owning them right now, in my opinion. I mean, sure, the 8700K is great and all, but for people who don't use Adobe applications, Ryzen is just superior in almost every application except for gaming. And even then, it's really close. That's good. Yeah, I have the i7 7700. Yeah, that's a good processor. I have the 6700K and 1080 Ti. Wow, nice. But I want to get the rumored 9900K and 2080 Ti for Battlefield 5. Dude, that'd be sick. That's a lot of money, though. I think you'll be fine with the 1080 Ti. The thing with Battlefield 5, though, it's getting weird because Hardware Unbox actually just made a video about this recently where they're talking about, what is it? Talking about it's like a stuttering mess, right? So Battlefield 5 has some issues and quirks where it's not really optimized, and then the ray tracing is still on the back burner, so it's getting a little weird. But the 9900K is pretty exciting. I hope I can test one of those out for you guys. I'll probably have to purchase it because no way in hell am I getting in contact with Intel. You're still not going to do that editing tutorial video. I know I asked you before on Twitter, but you might have changed your mind. Well, I could do an editing tutorial, but I guess it wouldn't really fit the channel. That's the only problem. I couldn't upload it to YouTube because people would be like, what the heck is this? And then they would kind of just like veer off. I would recommend a really good YouTuber who's really good at explaining these things. His name is Justin Odisho. This guy is really concise and good with his tutorials. I could watch a bunch of them. He's very good learning all these different transitions and stuff like that, but he has good introductory videos on Adobe Premiere and stuff like that. So really good source and wealth of information over here. There's a couple other guys too that are really good. This is just one of the ones that I follow. Fuck Wolf. LOL, my PC is running a FX 4100 with an HD 6770, but it still works. I hope to get an 8320E, but we'll grab an FX 6100 and RX 560 or 570 when I get the chance. You know, the 6100 is still not bad, and you can get some pretty decent clocks out of it, and the 570 would be a perfect pair with that processor. The 570 is a fantastic budget GPU, one of my favorites, and Brian from Tech Yes City has covered a lot of videos about it. This is all Japanese to me. Hey, what is all Japanese? Which part? I bought a bunch of Intel stock. Well, yeah, you could do that. I guess I can understand that from the name Financial Freedom. But yeah, that's good that you're investing in Intel too. AMD is going to be coming up too with their new release of GPUs, but we'll see how that goes up. But Intel has been increasing, so is AMD, at least from what I've heard. I heard Ryzen isn't good for Adobe Premiere. True. Yes. I mean, it does just fine in it, but going Intel 8th gen just is so much more optimized for Adobe applications. You can get so much better performance. I literally halved my render times by going to an 8700K from a Ryzen 1700. It's supposed to be like 450 to 500. I'm hoping to lower like 400. I'd be fine with that, but it's Intel, so it'll be 500 higher. Yeah, we'll see, because I don't know. Intel could do that, but like for me, if they were offering, if it was gonna be like 500, I would not be interested, because if they had an 8-core 16-thread, that's great, but Ryzen already has that, and it would be slightly lower clock speeds, sure, but I mean, Ryzen would probably be more power efficient and cooler, of course, and just, you know, half the cost. It'd be crazy, because you can buy 1700 under $200 sometimes. I need to do a tech video. Yeah, man, it's hard when you're trying to balance gaming and tech. It's like you might have to like separate the two, because like people will subscribe for like gaming and then some will subscribe for the tech videos. But like one of your biggest videos was like the JBL unboxing videos. So I mean, there's always that to go off of. I just use iMovie. I'm a noob. Hey man, there's no, you know, bad in that, using iMovie, honestly. I mean, I started out using what was it, the free Windows app. What was it called? It was like Windows Media Editor. I can't remember what it was called, but that's what I used for the longest time, so we all got to start somewhere. What's the difference with those 2700X Pro CPUs they just released today? What's the 2700X Pro? I haven't heard of that, actually. I heard of the Athlon chips. Yep, LOL, it's hard. That's why I called it Tech Gamer. Yeah, I know. But it gets hard to balance on that. Balance between what you want. It's like, oh, do I do gaming? Do I do tech? I don't even know. And I kind of started off like that, but I leaned more towards technology, because I was like, man, I'm really invested in this. So, I mean, it's like a personal journey, I guess. What was it? The 2700X Pro? I'm going to look this up. 2700X, if I can type Pro. Oh, what is this? CPU World. Is this like a higher clocked chip or something? AMD Ryzen 7 Pro, model numbers 2700X. Oh, it's Zen Plus. Okay, so the thing is these have a slightly higher clock speed than the previous generation. That's all it really means. The 2700X versus the 1700X has a slightly higher clock speed. They're better binned CPUs, so they have better wafers in them, which pretty much means they can overclock better than the other chips. It's like the 2700X Pro, 2700 Pro, and 2600 Pro or something. Well, the only thing I know is that the Pro is just part of the 2000 series, and nothing else besides that. You don't have, but look at my, oh, you don't have to, but look at my YouTube art on the side tech and gaming. Wait, look at my YouTube art on the side tech and gaming. Wait, you don't have to look at my YouTube art on the side tech and gaming. Let me see. I don't know what that means. What do you mean, Mr. Clyburn? I'm a little confused. Did you get like some of my PC art? Is that what you're talking about? So how much is a good budget for a decent computer to edit videos fast? $500 to $1,000. All right, so let's see. I could whip this up on. Let's see. Let's call it. Was it PC Part Picker? And I'll put together. Let's put together a $1,000 PC right here. So for Premiere and stuff like that, you're gonna want to go Intel. So we'll use the 8600K, which is at $250. That's MSRP. You could probably find it cheaper on some sales. I'll be honest, and we'll have to get a CPU cooler. But honestly, you can go with the Arctic Freezer 33, which is a really good one. Let's see if I can find it here. Arctic, here we go. Arctic, yeah. So here, this is like a $31 CPU cooler. That's really nice. Motherboard, let's go with the Z370 motherboard, so you'll be able to overclock it in case you decide to overclock it and get more performance out of your CPU. I know that might sound a little you know, a little sketchy right now, but don't worry. Actually, I would recommend, where is it? The BioStar Z370 board right here. It's $130. It's one of the lower tier Z370 boards, but it has a lot of good features on there and an overall solid board. And now you can get 16 gigs of memory for pretty cheap. Now with Adobe applications, the more memory you have, the better. And I would recommend getting 32 gigs, but since you're in the $1,000 budget range, you're probably going to want to just go with 16 gigs right now. So we'll look at 16 gigs of RAM. Let's just look at some of the cheaper ones, and we can look at, let's see. Yeah, what is this? Yeah, those are blue, but you know, it doesn't really matter. Let's see. Rip jaws, rip jaws, rip jaws, rip jaws. These are all fine. All right, let's just add this one because they're silver. I don't know if it really matters. You're gonna want to have an SSD to load your main programs off of, because those programs require a lot of resources. So Adobe applications, Microsoft Word and stuff like that, they require a lot of resources. So having an SSD where they can all boot really fast will help a lot. You know, the smaller programs, it doesn't really matter too much. You can put that on a big hard drive. But luckily SSDs are getting really, really cheap now. So if we just look at a standard old SSD to put your OS on, and we can look at let's look at a 500. Yeah. All right. Yeah, the ADATA is plenty fine. Look at this, $77 for 500 gig SSD. That's fine. We can get you some storage to deal with all those videos you're working on. You might want to do, let's say, I don't know, maybe 3 terabytes minimum. And we can go, no. Seagate, Constellation, no. Barracuda drive. All right, the Barracuda drive is fine. And there you go. You have your storage. Video card, I would recommend at least a GTX 1070 because it likes to utilize those CUDA cores. That probably is gibberish to you right now, but like, let's see. Like, this is fine right here. Yeah, we can add this to parts list. Where are we at? We're at $1,079. All right, so you can find like a used GTX 1070 for cheaper. You can find this for $320. All you're pretty much missing from here is a case and a power supply, and you can fit that in the $1,000 budget range. All right, let's look at the chat. Like $650-ish. That I can do. Can you do a review of the new Enermax LickTech 2 when it comes out at the end of September? Even though you said in your older video you need to stop buying coolers. Yeah, I mean, I could definitely review more coolers. Let's see what it looks like. The LickTech 2. And I guess I don't know if they have it. They have the Lick Max too, but yeah, I can check it out and see if what it offers. I don't have any contacts with Enermax currently, so I would probably have to purchase it separately or try to reach out to them. I have tried to reach out to them before, but they don't answer. It's really hard to get responses from companies, honestly. Sorry, I was typing fast. No worries, man. What are some good SSDs? I want to upgrade my PC and OS, Creative Cloud apps on it. So good SSDs, it's hard to tell because, you know, you'd say, oh, well, they all have the same performance and reliability. Well, some use different features of different things. So a solid SSD is, let's see. The top players are definitely Samsung, Kingston, and What is the other one? There's another one. Samsung is one of the top ones, and also Western Digital. They make some of the best SSDs on there, and they kind of trade blows. So yeah, Samsung being the best. If you want a very reliable SSD, that's probably going to have the maximum performance in its own category, but you can go for a little bit cheaper and maybe go with Kingston or Western Digital. Would you build computers for subscribers? Absolutely. So if you guys wanted me to build a computer for you and feature it on the channel, I could do that for you. You know, it probably would take a while to get everything all put together, and you know, you would have to ship it to me. And if you're cool with paying for all that, because I can't pay for the shipping or anything like that, I could do that for you and feature the build on my channel, run some benchmarks on it, and you know, get it all up and running for you. So yeah, I could definitely do that for you guys if you wanted to. And yeah, it's the same as the TR4 one, but just for LGA and mainstream platforms. Oh, that's neat. So they'll have the same block, but on a smaller, but it can be compatible with smaller dies or smaller CPUs, so you can have all that cooling performance. So that's interesting. If they buy the parts, yeah. If they buy the parts, yeah, that is plenty fine. You guys can send it to me, and I'll build it for you guys. And it'll probably take like a couple weeks to get everything finished and get it sent back to you, but because I would have to make a video out of it. And yeah, best budget GPU. Oh man. What do you consider budget though? Because everyone has a different budget, you know. So we're talking like $100. We're talking $150. I think one of the best budget GPUs is probably GTX 970 for $150 to $130. I think you just get the most bang for your buck out of it. Yeah, it's also in white, and I want the white 360mm one. Yeah, that sounds like a good deal to me, because the Lictech is a pretty good performing cooler, although I heard some people had some issues with corrosion on some of the other from the older version, so hopefully they solved that with this one. Well, 2:35 a.m. in my country. Good night. All right, Jorge, have a good night, man. Thanks for being on the stream. Is a GTX 960 OC 4 GB from Gigabyte for $110 a good deal? Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, they perform a little bit worse than the GTX 770, which you can probably find for cheaper, but having the 4 GB of RAM is a advantage over the 770, because when you try to get the 4 GB model of the 770, it usually goes well over $110. So that's honestly a pretty decent deal for a 960 in my opinion. I managed to grab a 960 2 GB version for $80, but honestly, $110 for the 4 GB model is pretty good as well. GTX 1060 is pretty good, and I know I got it new for like $250 a year ago. Yeah, I got mine for like $280 over a year ago, and then they started selling for like $400 and stuff like that, so they got really bad. So some of the best budget GPUs honestly come from the 9 series. So like if we looked at GTX 970s, these are pretty good. By now, skip through the fake ones. All right, here's one for $140 from Zotac. It's a decent one. This is a blower style. Wouldn't really recommend it. $150 for a Strix model, which is pretty nice, but unfortunately, it is pickup only. So, yeah. The MSI one, really good card. Oh, excuse me. I have that in my sister's build that I gave to her. I was thinking about 1060 gigabyte too. Yeah, 1060 6 GB is a great GPU. I have one, and it handles 1080p perfectly. That is the perfect 1080p GPU in my opinion, and I think it's one of the best performers in its class, and you really don't need to spend anything more for 1080p gaming. Ronnie, Coalition sent me. Great stream. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for the donation, too. Thank you a lot. And tell Chris thank you for sending you over here. Okay, so look at this. 1060, 3 GB for $130. You know, 3 GB version, of course, but still very good performance. pretty much identical to the GTX 970. So you can find these for a little bit cheaper than the GTX 970 and get the same performance. So that's what I would probably recommend. The 970 or the 1060 3GB is a really sweet spot, in my opinion, around that $120 to $150 price range. What was your favorite PC you ever built? Also, are you going to do more beginner mods like the Black Panther PC and other competition with other YouTubers? Okay, my favorite PC that I have built so far is definitely Onyx Inferno. The last one I did, just because it's probably my most high-end build, and not only that, everything, the whole entire color scheme, everything, building in the case was just a pleasure, except for the cable management. That was not that fun. But overall was one of my favorites here. Well, oh wait, whoops, wrong video. Apologies about that. Right over here, one of my favorites. And the deep cool cooler, everything worked seamlessly. It's a very quiet computer, and man, I absolutely love it. The only problem is it's limited by the PCIe lane, so that's the only thing. Also, you're gonna do more beginner mods like Black Panther PC. Yes, I am. I just gotta find the time to do it, because I'm always working with products constantly, but I want to do more creative things too, like the mods. So the next mod I was thinking about doing was doing a wood panel mod. Pretty simple, beginner level. Like it will require some tools, but if you have the tools, it will give you the option to do this. You can also rent tools from Home Depot and Lowe's, so it's not like you're completely limited by that factor. So that's also something to consider. And basically it would be a wood panel mod. You can do like a dark stain, like a black like wood grain stain, or a light stain like on a white PC case like the Inwin 101 or the NZXT H500i or something like that. That would look really nice and have a very good aesthetic to it. So something like that. When I built mine, I wanted to have a decent GPU just to make sure I was able to run things well, so that where a good chunk of my budget went to, but trust JD's opinion over mine. No, I mean, I understand that, and I go along with that sort of mentality as well. Is if you have the processor that can keep up, you don't have to spend so much on the processor if you're just playing games, you know what I mean? So you can, like, you don't have to get an 8700K to play games. You can get an 8600K and still play really well, or even like a 7700K or 7600K or 6700K, and a 1080 Ti will be plenty of power for that, and that CPU will be able to keep up no problem, especially if you overclock them. i7 8700 or Ryzen? Well, which Ryzen chip? And are you using it for gaming, productivity, or like streaming or anything like that? So that's the use case scenario is probably the first thing, and then the budget also. That's the only reason I wanted to upgrade my PC, because I heard the 9900K is going to have 40 PCIe lanes. I have 3 1TB M.2s, 2 960 SSDs, and then 2 3TB hard drives. But right now I can only fit like 1 M.2 and 2 hard drives. 40 PCIe lanes would be amazing on the consumer level, and that's because even with Threadripper and how affordable it is even now, even though it's expensive, it's still a lot more affordable in terms of server grade hardware. So having 40 PCIe lanes would be huge on a standard desktop format, like a gaming computer. And you have a lot of storage, man. That's awesome. You have 1TB M.2s, because I wanted to populate both my M.2 drives and also have all my hard drives installed. I wanted to have at least like a couple 10TB hard drives and stuff like that, and a couple SSDs. And that's hard to do when you're only working with like 16 PCIe lanes. Gaming and recording, which is the better chip with the 1060 GB? All right, so you probably want to go. I mean, they'll both be good, but I would recommend getting the Ryzen 1700 or the Ryzen 1700 over the 8700, just because you have a couple extra threads over the 8700. And while gaming and recording, you're not going to lose as much performance while recording. Whoop whoop. What is going on, man? What is going on, Chris? I use Ryzen 3 with a 1060, and I consistently get 60 FPS on PUBG, 70 to 80 on Fortnite, and 60 on Battlefield 1. Yeah, Battlefield 1's well optimized, so you can really do well with that. PUBG is getting there. That's good. You can do 60 FPS. You probably had to change some of your settings, though. And Fortnite 2, the 1060 will be most of the horsepower on Fortnite, so those seem like reasonable numbers there. Will they bottleneck the CPUs you just mentioned with the 1080 Ti, like the 8600K? At 1080p, no, I don't think so. I mean, there's always some form of bottleneck somewhere, something's out of synchronization, but the 8600K in terms of gaming with the 8700K are almost near identical because of how some games are more optimized for less threads and more optimized towards frequency and at least having 4 cores, and some are optimized for more cores and more threads. So the 8600K with the 1080 Ti is like the perfect gaming sweet spot, and so is the 8700K, which is a little bit more, but the 8600K and 1080 Ti is like valued at the same level for me. I bought one M.2 but canceled the order. Amazon sent me it anyway and they let me keep it, and then I bought another one for $200 and then just got a 970 Evo a few weeks back on Newegg for $147. They screwed up the discount code. I got $100 off the 970 Evo. What? Can you send me some of that luck? What? They sent you the M.2 1TB drive and gave you the refund. Oh my gosh. You want a streaming, editing, and gaming beast. Oh, you might have to wait. If you're editing in Adobe Premiere, you might have to wait for that 9900K to come out. So you'll have the threads to stream and game at the same time. Not that the 8700K doesn't have that, but it would be nice to have those extra threads that the 9900K would offer for you. And then editing would be a lot better because you would have the integrated graphics and the Adobe Premiere optimization, and gaming, of course, would be plenty with that. So that you might have to wait for the 9900K, which is apparently right around the corner, coming out in October, I think. Yeah, it was back when 1TB M.2s were like $400, even the cheap ones. I don't know how I did it. I don't know how you did it either, because now I want to do it, because that is insane. Hopefully I can do something like that, because the more the merrier. I can never have enough storage. I also got the two 960GB SSDs on Newegg for $136 because the coupon screwed up. You know, they have a history for doing that, for actually screwing up the coupon codes and giving off way more than they were actually supposed to. And sometimes they don't ship the order, but when they do, man, you are locked in and you're great. Oh man. It was $136 for both 960GB SSDs. That is awesome. I wish I could have some of that luck. I really do. I didn't even look at this chat. Oh man. Yeah, so you guys will have to hop on Discord server. You know, I'll try to be more active on it. I'm still learning it. And, you know, what time is it? It is 2 a.m. for me, so I gotta wrap up because I gotta work on another YouTube video for tomorrow. I got a motherboard review coming out, I think Monday, or yeah, Monday. I got a motherboard review coming out on Monday, and I have a build video coming out tomorrow, building inside of a case. So I probably have to hop off the stream, guys. Editing is really the RAM, right? More RAM, the better. Yeah, especially with the RAM. So you'll probably want at least 32 gigs of memory if you want to really just go ham with it. You can get away with 16 gigs, no problem. But if you put 32 in there, Adobe will use 32. If you put 64 in there, Adobe will use 64. I mean, you can really never have enough RAM, honestly. So if you can get like two 16GB sticks as a 32GB kit, that would be ideal. And then, you know, maybe later on upgrade, unless your budget allows for having all 64 gigs of RAM right there. I made the order at like 6:15 a.m. and then they packed it and shipped it by 10 a.m. What's the Discord server link? Oh, it's in the description of the stream. So if you're looking at the description, I have it, I think, at the top. Yes, I have the Discord link up at the top. So you can hop in Discord in there and I am going to be more active in there. Dope stream, my guy. Thanks for the tips. I've followed your socials. Follow back, fam. Hello. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I love being interactive with you guys. You guys are awesome. The real deal. Hopefully I can stream more often. I might do more Thursday nights, or I might do not Tuesday nights. I might do Monday nights, depending on what really works best for everyone. And, just kind of getting a feel for when I should schedule these things. No, we're going to miss you. Don't go, please. I'm sorry, man. I got so much I got to work on. And my voice is starting to hurt from talking so much. Seriously though, thanks for your support, guys. Thanks for the stream. I'll be waiting for the reviews. I love your reviews. Even better than like Bitwit and Jay's 2 cents. You are the best. Keep it up. Wow, thanks, man. That's a massive compliment. Those guys are top-notch quality. They make really good content, so that's a huge compliment. Thank you, man. I try to make the reviews as good as possible for everyone. Thanks for the stream, my dude. I'm off to bed. Have to work tomorrow. Yeah, man, me too. I gotta work tomorrow and work at the server job, so yeah. But thank you guys for hopping in the stream. I hope to catch you guys again next week. I'll try to get on next week again, so I'll see you guys later. Thank you all, and we'll get some more reviews out.